Well, that'll bring on Matt Prater for a 20.
Oh! Touchdown!
Trick play!
Let's
Wide
go!
open! Levine Toilolo!
Let's go!
Prater with a touchdown pass!
Matt Prater has the NFL's longest field goal. He's a man who's a legend. And here in Lambeau in December, gives a cadence with the leg lift like Peyton Manning, no laces, and delivers a dime in the corner of the end zone for a 13, about to be 14-0 lead. It's Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pick Last Podcast. Last week was a very somber and depressing week without our co-host Brian. But this week, he's back. And guess what? We brought more. To my right, I have Andrew Parker.
Hello.
To his right, I have, sitting across from me, the return of my cousin Brian.
Yeah, it's already off to the fucking hinges.
Oh boy.
Oh Jesus.
So hi, Brian.
Hi, Mikey.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back too.
And to my left and Brian's right, we have our guest host this week, Nick Landi from the Landi Lodge.
What's going on, everybody? I'm actually to Brian's right, Mike's left, and directly across from Andrew. Just in case you're trying to get the picture clue, we're going to have a good time.
I think this is a new record of like 30 seconds in. Like your first 5 seconds of speaking as a guest host, you've ripped on Mikey.
Usually people have to like dip their toe in. You just jump right in.
right in.
I mean, that's how you got to do it, man. Waist deep.
That's right.
Waist deep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, boys, this was one hell of a week in football.
This was the last week.
Yeah.
Last week.
Well, I thought it was my last week.
I hoped it was.
I hoped it was too.
Most of the NFL did, to be fair.
The one person who wasn't rooting against the Eagles was the Washington Redskins, and they did you guys a huge favor.
Oh, most definitely. I was actually watching the game with a Patriots fan, and you could see as the Vikings scores
They
coming
had, like,
up,
a non-flush.
he just started like biting his nails, like no.
Not again. We just got the bye and everything was fine.
So even if the Bears smack us out playoff week 1, seeing the fear in a Patriots fan face, worth it.
Totally
Worth it.
I know that feeling. Me and Andrew know that feeling.
I'm sure you do. You know it twice.
Yeah.
One of my best friends since like birth is a diehard Patriot fan.
Oh,
but
man.
he's one of those kids where like he claims he's like, yeah, my dad bought me a Drew Bledsoe jersey when I was a kid. And I was like, yeah, but your dad also bought you a Michael Vick jersey. He bought you a Marshall Faulk jersey. Like he bought you every jersey in the world, and you
He
just
bought you the
clung.
Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Guess
like,
who's not coming on the show?
So, a little bit of housekeeping before we start the show at the top. First off, Brian, big movie Mayhem coming up on number 153.
It already came out. We just dropped the Mandy review, co-starring the person who's right across from me.
Yeah, that's
everyone's
right.
and left.
Yeah, that's right.
He suggested we watch the 2018 independent, I guess, horror action thriller classic Mandy, and oh boy, what a review! What a movie!
Yeah, Nick Cage, man.
Nick Cage.
He went full blown Cage.
He raged in his cage.
It was a good episode.
Yes.
I think you did a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, be sure to check that out. And, of course, Nick Landi with your show, the Landi Lodge.
Yes, I got the Landi Lodge. You can find me on YouTube. Right now, primarily pumping out podcasts and live streaming on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube. Just search the Landi Lodge on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_Landi_Lodge. Same on Instagram, the.Landi.Lodge. So if you like a generalist podcast that scoops all of media into 1 hour, one consumable hour for you busy people, then the Landi Lodge is a podcast for you.
Right. So
You can find an hour.
You talk about like you and the guests just kind of
it's really
like
based on
before
my guests.
You started out, you're like, all right, like, well, let's talk about this because I saw the one you do with Perk, your friend of the show, Chris Bukowski,
Chris
talking about
Bukowski,
baseball.
shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, let's talk baseball.
It's really dependent on the guest. I think it's because like if two people are going to sit and have a conversation, They need to talk about something they're passionate about.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
whoever's in that chair, I'm just there to help them dive into what they're passionate about.
So if we had, let's say, Mikey on the show, he would talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants game that just happened this weekend.
yeah, no, that'd be like 30 minutes.
So let's kick this one off, kind of with the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just get it out of the way.
hold on, I would
pull the Band-Aid.
I would like to say before we jump in, something that actually just dawned on me.
Was the Cowboys beat the Giants?
No. When me and Nick, talked about coming back on the show, I actually kind of forgot that Nick's actually the reason why I became friends with Andrew.
Yes.
Because we met
Whoa,
at one of
shit.
Nick's band was playing a show.
The
We did
temple,
security.
the temple.
The
Yeah,
temple.
you guys
The
was
temple.
what was your name? What was your
The
fucking name?
filibustering sea monkeys.
That was our name.
We were a security team.
Wait, time out. We got the Pick Last podcast, but yet the filibustering sea monkeys was out there?
It was on the table.
It was on the table.
Nobody
yeah.
brought that up to me during the production meeting.
I remember like one kid started crowd surfing with like 4 people holding him, and I yelled at everyone else. I'm like, "Start moving!"
No, when the security's telling the crowd to get moving, I know I hired the right team.
And that's true.
Legends.
It's like Jeb Bush going, could you please clap?
Please. So you said that you needed some security, and I was like, yeah, I'll help out. And you ex Perkowski, and he brought along Andrew, and that's the first time me and Andrew met.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
I did not know that chronology.
Yeah, so I appreciate you introducing me to one of my
This
closest
will not
So
be the
basically-
only weird fact that pulls out today. So.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So basically, this whole circle of the show happened because of Chris,
of
and nobody
Yeah.
invited him on the show. Nobody reached out to him.
Well, there's
I
another person we
apologize.
can cross off the list.
That's 2 down.
Makes everything a lot easier for guests.
X those out.
So more episodes for me, right?
It's official. So yeah, Brian, like you said, Cowboys Giants
Yes.
to start it off. By the way, that was a smooth ass transition.
I was-
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Work
Yeah.
of art.
It was, and then
That's
Mikey came
good.
in and said,
I
"I
had to hold
object."
it. I had to hold it for a second because I thought that was a nice.
He's
useful
like
piece
the
of knowledge.
fucking pastor from
Because-
Footloose. There's just no dancing here.
When someone else segues to the Cowboys, it is not allowed.
That's right.
Only me. So speaking of me, no.
Oh, Jesus. Speaking of terrible things, the Giants finished the season, 5-11?
5-1.
Yep.
Sounds right.
5-11,
Which is-
yeah.
They're going to get the 6th pick in the draft, but they were so fucking close to winning this game, and it hurt me to watch it. It hurt me to see
Really?
I wanted this win for some reason.
See, for me, I saw it as a kind of a win-win situation. I believe I said it to you guys that afternoon, where it's like either we end the season on a high note and we beat like a division rival in a close game. It was very close.
1 point.
Yes. Or we lose, and it could be very beneficial to us long run with a higher draft pick.
Yeah.
We picked 6th now, I believe.
We would've picked
If we
12th.
won, we would have picked, yeah. So it saved us like 6 spots in the draft.
Yeah, I know, but when you got a chance to beat Dallas,
You always want
you
it.
want to beat Dallas.
course.
And I feel like as an Eagles fan, you're in that same boat. It's like when the opportunity's there, sometimes you just got to go, fuck it. Let's
Especially
Here,
when...
but here's my thing. I feel like sometimes you got to lose a battle to win a war.
Okay.
Well, what are you
I
battling
agree.
Dallas for? They're in. You're
Pride.
out. Take the game. Get a better pick.
What's
lose the battle, win the war.
So
Time
actually,
out. What's our Twitter hashtag? Giants pride. There's no pride in that.
Pride is a sin. It will cost you draft picks.
So here's the thing: if
I was
Giants
trying to
won,
think of a Kevin Spacey thing, but I don't think it's the right time.
no, not yet. We aren't talking about the Steelers yet, Brian.
Oh,
The edgelords of Pick Last podcast.
So that was the whole thing. I read that if they would have won this game, they're instead of picking 6th, they would have picked like 13th or 14th.
Yeah,
or something like that.
something
Like,
crazy.
That's steep when you're looking for a quarterback. When the quarterback market isn't that deep this year like it was this previous year, that just seems like it's a wasted game. And like I also don't really I don't subscribe to that Billy Bean like you got to win the last game of the season type like ordeal like for Moneyball and stuff like that. I feel like that could bring you on 2 different paths, and you'll never know which one you're on until you're on it. Because if I lost the last game of the season, that gives me even more motivation than winning the last game. Like I'd rather be like, let's show everybody that last game was a fluke, and let's start the season off strong.
That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted them to win the last game. Go like, all right, well, next season we're definitely going to be better. then there we go. We become better.
But I think you got the best of both worlds because you went toe-to-toe with the division winner, and it came down to the end, but you still get your cozy draft.
See, I would trade the win against the Bears for the win against the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I just
No, that's fair.
right?
That's
That's where I'm coming
from.
from. Like,
But you don't want to win
we beat-
against a team that's better than the Bears. The team that the Bears are
because
better than us.
we'll basically have the same record. But I want to beat the team.
The division.
That's
The division.
I get
gonna
that.
get that I'm gonna see like 2 more times next year. Then I'm gonna see go in the playoffs.
Especially because this is our last game before the playoffs, that it's a chance as a division rival to try to derail them.
Yeah, and
it's a game of momentum.
It's also a thing
Fair.
like, we may not have been good, but you didn't get us in the end. That's what I wanted. And I know like the Giants aren't good anymore. We only have one division win in the past 3 years, it seems.
Jesus.
And it's against the fucking Redskins. So
No matter how bad we are, we can always still kick the
like,
Redskins
thank-
while they're
it's
down.
like,
Was it Mark?
Thank God for the fucking Redskins.
Was it Mark Sanchez Redskins or was it?
I think we
Alex
broke
Smith?
his leg. I think we broke Mark Sanchez's
We
leg.
might have.
Was it Sanchez
cool.
or was it McCoy whose legs you broke?
No, we fucked somebody up. I think we fucked up
Because
Sanchez.
all three of them broke their legs this year,
Yeah.
or something terrible happened to their legs
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
year.
So we can conclude the Redskins line sucks.
Yes.
Yes.
The whole team.
R.I.P.
That whole
Colt
team
McCoy.
took a knee on the season.
Now, really quickly, because I know we'll hit on it later in the year, closer to the draft. With the Giants at 6, do you think we are going quarterback? I know with Mikey saying
Now we
the
would.
quarterback
Now
one.
I think we have to.
My fear is just, I don't think there's any teams before us that need a quarterback. I don't buy into the Raiders needing a quarterback. But my fear is, does Jacksonville try to trade ahead and jump us to get like Haskins?
I don't think Haskins is their guy.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think he's.
Who do you think they're looking at?
I also don't think they're looking at a quarterback right now.
You don't
I
think so?
think that's a smokescreen. I think there's because they could go for a free agent They go like, look, you get a free agent guy. I think they got a bunch of money coming off the cap. They got like a little bit of space.
Yeah.
They got Foles is out there, Flacco's out there. They may take like a veteran guy. Be like,
Tannehill,
all right,
maybe?
Tannehill,
Yeah.
keep Tannehill in Florida. The
Yeah.
mayor of Florida, keep him in there. Mm-hmm. And plus, Jameis Winston's out there. They may take a shot at getting him.
Yeah.
So they have an opportunity to kind of get a quarterback to be a bridge until they feel like maybe because they may want to go after Tua Tagovailoa next year.
Mm-hmm.
So they may want to just get a guy, get past because they rolled out Chad Henne for a couple of years.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
Henny.
Yeah. So they're not like I don't really feel like they need to go crazy.
I think all the rumors came from when they were looking for a new coordinator,
Right.
and nobody wanted the job
Yeah.
because of Bortles.
I feel they need a new wide receiver more than they need a new quarterback.
I mean, ideally, I would like because Haskins has been pretty outspoken about being like a diehard Giants fan.
Right.
I would be happy to get him, and I think next year could kind of be a Kurt Warner situation for Eli, where maybe he starts
has
the
to.
season, and if it's fizzling out, they put in Haskins, and it's the end. It's a shitty end to a great career.
You give him you give him to the bye and then that's it.
Yeah, see how it goes for you.
Has Haskins committed to entering the draft, or is he still
Not yet.
Well, last
Not yet.
night was his bowl game,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
And he's got nothing holding him back. Like Justin Hibbert said, he wants to play 1 year with his brother,
Yeah.
and then ruin his draft stock going into
Yeah.
the 2020 draft.
Well, he wanted to stay in school. Haskins wasn't that like the reason why?
Well, I think now with Herbert going back into the draft, going back to school,
He knows
his
he's-
stock rises
Okay.
above
Yeah.
everyone else's.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like I said, he's been so outspoken about kind of wanting to be a Giant
Yeah.
that I feel like he sees as like it's like
And-
the perfect timing if that's what he really wants.
And Intent Barometer Instagram show that OBJ followed him on Instagram. As everything happens on
He followed
Instagram.
Saquon last year.
He did.
So now, as a Cowboys fan, did this win mean anything to you? I mean, I know you're looking ahead to playoffs.
I mean, the win meant a lot in different ways. Like, I mean, aside from like the momentum or whatever, but this win, I think, instilled a lot of fear into the Seahawks because now they have another threat they have to worry about with Blake Jarwin, our tight end who scored 3 touchdowns. And
It sounds like such a made-up name.
That sounds like a guy I made in Madden.
Oh, I can't go out with like custom player 1.
Blake Jarwin.
Yeah. So he had a really, really good game for us this week, and Cole Beasley turned it back up, and he was the deciding factor.
Did
His
Amari
touchdown.
Cooper play?
Yeah, he did.
That catch was incredible, the Beasley catch.
That was incredible.
That wasn't a catch.
Yes, it was.
It was.
I don't know.
A knee equals 2
So
feet.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He like
It confused the fuck out of me too, man.
Yeah.
Like
Tell that
everybody,
whole thing.
so
Tell that to
everybody's
Calvin
like,
Johnson.
so everybody's like, and this game is like the announcers like, and this game's over, and the Giant fans are going nuts and stuff like that. And as who's that?
Because
who's that douchebag?
40% of his
booth?
fucking body was outside of the line.
Yeah, who's that douchebag?
As
that's
was
in
the football itself.
Exactly.
in the booth.
What's up?
Who's that douchebag that's in the booth?
Which one?
The douchebag in the
no,
booth.
no, Davis.
Al
Charles Davis?
Charles. I think it's Charles Davis. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the guy. He's in
Madden.
commentator
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that douchebag.
Jesus.
he
Taking shots for no reason.
They're going over the replay, and he's the one that was like, wait a second, like, it looks like Beasley's knee is down, and is like, and according to John Madden, the one knee is 2 feet in, that's a catch.
Everyone
and they're
knows
going to review
John
this.
Madden makes the football rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
He was working with a homie, Kevin Burkhardt, so whatever.
yeah, that's true. But, Beasley also, before that catch, was being productive again, like he was, in the beginning of the season. So I feel like
He's a productive number 4 receiver.
yeah, he's a good slot receiver.
Yeah, sure. If you want to put... Yeah. This is why I also wanted the Giants to win.
I know.
Stop this
I
fucking
know.
narrative that Cole Beasley is a respectable NFL player.
He is. I don't get it what you're saying.
We got a case of the Beasles.
It's a rampant case of the Beasles right now.
The game was our defense didn't completely fall apart and helped Zeke keep the rushing title. It helped that Gurley didn't play and Barkley didn't go off for 200 yards.
He did become the third running back ever for his rookie year to put up 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
He got 2,000?
Yeah, he hit
Yeah,
it.
he did
2,000 total yards.
Total.
Total, yeah.
All right.
Receiving helped a lot with him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. What was it, 750 receiving yards or something like that?
Mikey's just trying to make his case sound better for Zeke.
I'm telling you.
No, I'm not.
This is why.
I
This
am
is why I
not.
wanted to win, so
No.
that he just
No,
stop the fucking.
I didn't say.
I think you
say
wanted to
anything.
win for
I,
that
honestly,
reason.
I felt like he was throwing Barkley a little bit of love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was.
feel like he was throwing him a
No,
little
yeah,
love.
that was.
Well,
that
you
was
missed
gonna
it.
be
You missed our
condescending.
debate.
I think this is.
We had a group
Be
chat
careful,
debate.
Eagles fan. Your time's
I
coming soon.
I know where this is going. I know where this is going.
I don't even think I have the picture anymore.
There's a ceasefire right now, but I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it's temporary.
Oh, you just wait. You just
It
wait.
was one of
pal.
those. We had like a debate earlier in the week in the group because Barkley, I think, had like more yards on less carries, and then he had like more receiving touchdowns or rushing touchdowns, and then he had like one other stat. And Mikey was like, "Well, when you cherry pick, I mean, he caught 80 checkdowns."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
why.
And it's the main reason why I don't think that he should win Rookie of the. One of the main reasons why I don't think he should.
Well, it's also
have Rookie of the Year.
it's a tough thing for
And that's a hot
running
take that
back
I'll get to later.
win Rookie of the Year over like 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And also Nick Chubb on the Browns also had an amazing season. So
and
it's not
Lindsey too.
and yeah, Philip Lindsay, who's undrafted, I believe, right?
Undrafted and didn't play the first 3 games of the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. So, like,
and that's
there's-
something that you're like.
So
what?
like here's the I'm kind of gonna put the nail in the coffin for this game because we should move on. What we should be positive about, like if Barkley doesn't win the Rookie of the Year, which is probably more than likely not.
Yeah,
gonna
because he's a
happen.
running back.
Yeah. What he did is that he's the first Giants running back to go over 1,000 yards in like what felt like 10 years.
Yeah. He's
Since
a
like
great
Ahmad
player.
Bradshaw.
With
He's
like
player.
and especially to do it with like a bottom 5 offensive line.
and
Yeah.
it was a patchwork offensive line that got better over time, and that Barkley was actually a factor, not like Paul Perkins and all the other faceless
Wayne
names.
Gallman.
Wayne Gallman, who got his first rushing touchdown of his
Yeah.
career.
Stewart.
But like I think,
I forgot about that. Why'd you have to remind me Jonathan Stewart was on our team?
Oh yeah, that's right. Jonathan Stewart was there.
Wait, isn't he still on your team, or did you guys?
He
finally get
was
rid
on
of
like
him?
IR
Yeah.
forever.
It's with Barkley. He's moving forward, and he's gonna take the team into the new era of whatever the Giants become.
Yeah.
But if they draft Haskins or if they draft an offensive lineman and wait for next year, who really knows?
Or even a linebacker or defensive line.
Exactly, and it would be fun to see.
Yeah,
Speaking
absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of games that aren't fun to see, if you live in the Washington D.C. area, let's talk about.
Subtle like little save. Like,
Yeah, I like it.
oh wait, we have an Eagles fan here.
That's right. Let's
He's dishing up the alley-oop.
That's
It was
right.
nice.
'Cause I want
It was
to
good.
get all of our stuff out so that we could be, very critical and very dismissive of the Eagles in the playoff matchup they have coming.
That's fair enough. Well, listen, I mean, there's not much to talk about. It was 24-0. Like the game was over as soon as the Eagles scored.
I just think, like, what a weird season for the Eagles.
You know, it doesn't feel like we went 9-7.
Yeah,
I feel this is usually how I feel after 6-10.
I feel like 2 weeks ago we were discussing how like you guys were like eliminated and
We were
Wentz was
4-6
going to go have
after the
surgery.
Saints game.
Yeah,
After the Saints game, I was low. I was like, this
Yeah.
is bad.
Yeah.
But
Wentz was like, "Well, we're done. We're going to go have back surgery."
exactly, we
now you're in
shite
the
down
playoffs.
Wentz. Well, you know what it was? It's when sports are crazy sometimes with shit like this because it's when Foles took down the Rams and then the entire NFL was like, oh.
They're doing it again.
Oh,
See, I like as an
they-
Eagles fan, it's like, oh, and everyone else like, oh.
exactly.
Oh no.
No, I know some people that are hyped for another Nick Foles run.
Nick Foles is. That's
Exactly, that's true. There's a lot of money.
Does
into
Nick Foles go into the Hall of Fame if he wins another Super Bowl?
That's a good question.
Yes.
I saw Francesca vehemently tells.
Bohemianly?
What did I say?
You know something?
Bohemian.
Well, yeah, whatever. Like, he was very, very against that when somebody was like, well, if you put Eli Manning in, what if Nick Foles
Has
wins
Nick Foles-
another?
No,
Nick
you
plays-
can't say that. Eli Manning is in like the top 10 of every passing category of all time. Even if Foles won 3 Super Bowls, you couldn't compare. I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to be real.
USA.
I'm trying to be real.
USA.
You're off the show.
I'm trying to be real. Look, I'm gonna rip on you guys later if we ever talk Rookie of the Year. But but you know, look, Foles to Sproles is a dangerous combination. This is Darren Sproles' last hurrah. This Sunday could be his last game. He said it's his final season. And this is Nick Foles' chance. If he wants to move on and become a starting quarterback, this is his chance to show the fucking NFL what he's got.
Has Nick Foles ever started a full 16?
Yes, in 2013 with fucking Chip Kelly of all people
Jesus.
leading the way. He threw 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
So
this is when they were doing the hurry up offense.
Right,
So
when they know how
defenses
to-
didn't know what to do. And Nick
Yeah.
Foles had a crazy year. I think he had like the perfect, like
He
whatever
set, like,
QB
records.
rating is perfect.
Yeah,
like
he
that
set,
was
like-
his QB rating that year. You want to say something?
What
felt-
I was going to say was, like, you guys were talking about Rookie of the Year, and I know we're going to get there, but I'm sure, especially you would say Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Because it was a culture change, and how important that was.
700%.
Now,
Yes.
I would argue that the same thing is true for Nick Foles, that he came and it was kind of a culture change for this team that this team needed. They simplified the offense.
I'm going to tell you what it was primarily. He's throwing to someone not named Zach Ertz.
That is
And
also
listen,
true.
I understand why Carson Wentz sticks to Ertz because he could throw it to Ertz. They're not going to intercept it. No one's going to go up and beat him. Ertz is not going to fumble. He's going to run his route. He's the best tight end in football. I said it.
It's another solid
Blake
fact.
But if you want,
currently.
Well, you can make the argument. You can make
Greg
the
Kittle's
argument.
coming
Yeah, I was gonna say
There's a
Kittle.
few.
Kittle.
Look, there's obviously
Waiting before
I'm not biased, but if you watch the Redskins game, what makes Foles different is he gives guys like Aguilar and Jeffrey the chance to go up and get it. You know, Wentz. If my advice to Wentz would be, don't be afraid to throw an interception because he is, and it works because his touchdown to interception ratio is incredible.
Not better than Dax, though.
It's incredible. We'll get to. It's
Kidding.
Yeah.
Totally
It's-
kidding.
It's serious.
Reference point. Argument made.
But it's seriously, it's incredible. That's because he sticks to Zach Ertz. What he's got to do is throw more risky passes up to Aguilar, up to Jeffrey, up to Mike Wallace when he goes deep.
Golden Tate, too.
Golden Tate, too. That's it. Nick Foles is throwing it to Golden Tate, who's got like the greatest rate for yards after catch.
Yeah.
Literally give him a screen pass. It's not hard.
Got to make that 3rd round pick worth something.
Got him exactly. And the Ravens didn't exactly tank, so our 2nd round pick isn't very good.
I completely forgot you guys even had Mike Wallace.
Yeah,
I totally forgot that was a thing.
Exactly.
Now, as an Eagles fan, do you prefer Carson Wentz or do you prefer Nick Foles? If they said like, all right,
Great
well,
question.
if the Eagles go like, all right, we're gonna sign Nick Foles, we're gonna finally commit to him, we're gonna give him a 4-year deal. He's still a young man, but now we have Carson Wentz here, which we could trade. We could probably get a higher draft pick, and like Jacksonville comes calling like, hey man, I'll give you a 1st for Carson Wentz. Do you make that move?
That is a great question. There's so many ways this could turn out, and I don't see any way I could actually be upset.
Okay.
So, if Nick Foles goes back to the Super Bowl, I feel like he needs to be the starter. Sign him to a 2-year deal and just tell Wentz, hey, either be patient or demand a trade. Put it in Carson Wentz's hands because he deserves it, because he's a top 10 quarterback. Yeah. And I don't think anybody would argue that. But if you're going to give the job to Nick Foles, You give Carson the option. Hey, we got him here for 2 years. You signed him for 2 years. Give him $20 million a year. That's what he's owed next year. The Eagles have the option to pick it up. And this is in the scenario that Foles wins the Super Bowl. I'm not saying give him $20 million if he gets clobbered by the Bears next week. Yeah, this is the scenario where he
4
wins.
weeks from now. Oh my God, he did it again. Oh my God.
But unless Foles wins the Super Bowl, I feel like you have to look at Carson Wentz as the future just because he's like 8 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Foles lights the team on fire. And I think everyone saw it last year and everyone just saw it this year. Strangely enough, we didn't see it the first 2 weeks of the season. But he's not No,
those
he didn't
games
play
were
really
real
well.
bad.
No, he did not really play very
the
well.
first game of the season, you guys.
Atlanta
Falcons?
lost that game.
Atlanta lost that game, and we only
but-
scored 18.
Yeah,
It was
but-
like a both bad game on both sides. So
Okay, okay.
It was-
But
yeah,
the
it was
second
the
game,
sloppiest game of football I've ever
the second
seen.
game against the Bucks, Foles did very well. The only problem
Foles
was
did
that
well enough.
Fitzmagic did better.
Yeah,
Like,
Foles
that's the
did well
only
enough.
thing,
Foles,
you know
I'm
what I mean?
not trying to shit on the guy. Foles
Yeah.
did well.
Now, if you were Alshon Jeffries after signing that contract extension, who do you want?
I think you want money.
Yeah.
That's A.
Well, he got it.
He's gonna get it.
Like Alshon got that. He got it in the beginning of the season. I think they gave him like a 4-year extension. I thought.
You know, you want Alshon. If you're Alshon, it's tough because Alshon gets the ball more with Foles.
Right.
But if you're really trying to buckle into Philadelphia, I mean, there's no reason you can't be an adult, pull Carson aside, and be like, "Homie, give me the ball." Like, throw it to me, man.
No,
like,
yeah.
I'm out here. Like, he's a number one receiver on most teams, Alshon Jeffrey.
A lot of wide receivers do that too. Like, it's not
Yeah, we'll
unheard
get to
of.
that too.
Well, don't go to the press about it. Just say to Carson, like, hey, throw the ball,
Man to man, yeah.
Yeah, I'm out here.
Person to person.
It's
Grab one of those little fucking tablets, like, "Hey, dickhead, there I am." You know,
X's and O's.
X's and O's, genius.
So to put a bow on your question, I think the future is Carson Wentz.
Right.
But I think if Nick Foles goes the distance,
Play the hot hand.
play the hot hand,
the hot
give
hand.
Foles 2 years, lots of money, and give Carson the option to be patient, learn from Foles, or demand the trade. And like you said, you can call Jacksonville. You could probably get a first-round pick and a proven player at the same time. For Carson Wentz,
You could probably get Leonard Fournette. Take that headache off their hands.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which I'm surprised the Eagles never picked up a running back.
The Eagles
It's
do
'cause-
love injury-prone running backs.
They love them. They like
They're
matchsticks
do.
running backs. That's what it is.
I'll tell you what they're doing. They're trying to breed the next Darren Sproles with this guy Wendell Smallwood and Josh Adams.
Yeah.
If you see they're the same body type as Sproles,
Right.
little guys who are quick and get through tight corners, and they're
Little guys, no necks, just
exactly.
Yeah.
That's I guess that's Doug Peterson's angle. That's the kind of running back he wants to build an offense for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Hey, that's the most like. Congratulations, you have lasted the longest out of all Philly fans talking to me. So.
Honestly,
because you praised Eli before
yeah,
you went
well,
into it.
I have a hypothesis. I think
Game
it's just because I'm
respects
from
game.
New York. That's my hypothesis because I get that all the time. Much love for Philadelphia because they're my people. We root for this team together.
Is Philly the only like
Out of town?
out of town
Only
sports team
out
that
of
you
town.
watch?
Only
Yeah,
out
that's
of
the same-
town.
That's the same way I am.
I find it so
Only
interesting
with Dallas.
that
Yeah,
it's like that with. I find it so interesting that it's that way with football. That like in baseball,
I've
everything, you
seen
kind
that.
of root for the hometown boys.
Well, I feel because football's so like it's so unobtainable for a lot of people. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
like you can't go like, oh, me and the boys got like $5 tickets to the Giants or the Jets.
Yeah.
You know, where you could be
Doesn't
like,
work that
Jets.
way.
Yeah, to the Jets mostly. But like, you can't be like, all right, well now we're gonna go to Jersey and watch the fucking Giants. Or hey, let's go real New York and go up to fucking Buffalo. But with football, you could like, all right, well I'm gonna turn on channel 5 or channel 2. Like, oh, this team's on, and you probably as a young kid, so like, well, let me guess.
Vic?
No, you saw Donovan McNabb.
My first game, Randall Cunningham.
Oh,
Randall Cunningham.
Cunningham. Okay.
Nice.
It was at the
that.
end of his run. It was at the end of his run.
right.
I really dove deep with the McNabb, Westbrook, Dawkins days.
Yeah, that was-
My God, they were fun.
Those were the worst days of me going to the Giants games because I knew they were
God.
too good. The fact that he was throwing to like Todd Pinkinston or whatever the fuck his name was, and like, how is he?
Yeah.
Like, how are you winning?
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So speaking of how are they winning, the Indianapolis Colts have surprised everybody this year.
Comeback
Yeah.
Player of the Year, Andrew Luck. Like,
100%.
changed my mind.
How
100%.
How hard do you think? Like I tweeted at Jalen Ramsey last week saying like I took the quote that he said like Andrew Luck's not that good. It's like, oh, you gotta live this now.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck's
He's had a lot of stuff he's had to live
Yeah,
up
I
to
know.
this year.
a lot of shit, but like Andrew Luck has just basically drank from the fountain of youth. His shoulder looking great. He's out there every fucking play. He's getting hit. He's running. He's doing his thing. And now The Colts have they have a young defense coming up. That offensive line is like surprisingly strong.
Well, they drafted Nelson,
two, and they also drafted another guy too. I think they drafted another guard. So they fixed most of the line.
I'll keep saying it, man. Frank Reich should be the coach of the year.
Yeah.
Like who?
I can fuck with that.
Who thought that the Colts wouldn't be like a dumpster fire this year?
If they beat the Texans, 100%, Frank Reich should be.
Yeah.
Like you took a team with a quarterback coming back who wasn't throwing a ball in like 2 years, a coach that stepped in after the McDaniels controversy, and now they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah. They took Eric Ebron, who only I think I and like a couple other people like really bought into Ebron being a factor in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Marlon Mack's having
they have
career season right now. So,
those Colts, man, they played a game against the Tennessee Titans. This is a winner takes all. You win, you're the last wild card. And this game, I think it lived up to the billing. It was a pretty cool.
It was a good game.
It was a really
I was
good
watching the highlights and this was a fucking.
And you know what?
game.
There was big consequences to it. They go to the playoffs. So, great game.
Unfortunate for the Titans is that they had Blaine Gabbert play instead of Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
And if Mariota was in there, it would be a hell of a difference.
Let me ask you guys: is Mariota a bust?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
He's been
Not
very injury prone.
yet.
Because he did have a good.
He's neither a boom nor a bust, I think.
Yeah, he did. He was impressive last year in the playoffs, but this year has not been very good.
Well, he's got talent.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
He's got it.
I could put him on the same level, I think, as a quarterback, whether it be his IQ, his awareness, or just the physical attributes of him. I could put him on the same level as like Russell Wilson, just not as obviously successful,
Yeah.
But to me, they're the same quarterback.
I think it's the injuries that hold him back. I think
Yeah, I would
the
agree
team,
with that.
his offense fucking loves the guy. He's a proven leader. He doesn't have like the outside talent. He doesn't have like a true stud receiver to be like, oh, that showcases his talent as a quarterback. And now, the emergence of Derrick Henry this year and of Deion Lewis having that kind of different of style running back. Hopefully next year they can keep it together and see what happens. Maybe who knows what they draft.
Yeah. I don't even know when they draft. It's got to be like middle of the road, right?
Probably later. Like they ended the season 9-7.
Yeah.
They would have won the East. I'll tell you that. They would have won the East.
And I know we'll get to it later, but I mean, do you think the Colts are going to make some noise in the playoffs, or do you think they're?
Yeah.
Who's
They're playing the
matchup?
Texans.
That's gonna be a good game.
You finally got 100% of the Texans. You got Watson healthy.
Yep.
You got Watts healthy. You got Clowney healthy. You got Duke healthy. The only person who's out is Demaryius Thomas, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you got two teams that are who have been plagued by injuries now healthy going up against each other in the first round.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And people are saying that's not going to be the game to watch this week.
Yeah, that's insane. That's my game.
To me, that's one of the hardest games to guess.
Yeah.
I think it's the game of the week.
Yeah, I
honestly,
think it's gonna be.
Hopkins went off this year.
He caught a ball with his butt cheeks. That was insane.
This dude catches
he was going
anything thrown within a 10-yard radius.
Yeah, he had like 0 drops this
He had no
season.
drops this season, yeah. That's insane. He's a wonderful player to watch.
Yeah, I think, and honestly, I think in this game might be determined by who wins the ground game. I think it's either Marlon Mack or Lamar Miller. Like, who's going to be the better of those two?
Yeah.
Mack is he's on fire right now. Like, it's going to be tough to stop him.
Yeah. But
the Texans' defensive line is incredible too. So, I don't know. I think I might have to go with the Texans.
Oh, you want that Texas Super Bowl, don't you?
Doesn't matter to me.
You want that rivalry to really?
There's no rivalry.
Save it for the preview. Save it for the preview.
Sorry. I'm sorry for jumping ahead.
No, I think anything else about the Colts or Titans you guys want to touch on?
No, I feel like it was just a great matchup, a lot on the line, and
it was a fun game to watch. Yeah. It was another fun game. Ravens and Browns.
Yeah. Another game, just high stakes. You know what I mean?
And the fact that it fucked the Pittsburgh Steelers
out of the playoff.
Yeah. That
done.
was great.
The Ravens, like we've said on the show before, they've always kind of been like a fringe team, but it seems like with Lamar Jackson, they've really stepped it up.
You look like you got something to say.
Because we got the second round Ravens pick. They were supposed to tank.
You saw Lamar Miller coming in. It's like, well, finally.
Like Flacco, Lamar, we don't care.
Exactly.
Bring them in.
RG3 also on the bench.
That's what I was saying. They had no organization. It's like, this team is sloppy. They don't know who they are. They win the fucking
And
division.
you're slapping their Jet friends like, we're going to give you John Harbaugh. There's going to be some changes in Baltimore, baby.
Mayfield got a offensive player of the week this week, right?
Oh, he was fucking crazy in that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
3
unreal.
interceptions, but 3 touchdowns, 375 yards. Lamar Jackson, 179 yards, no touchdowns, no picks.
90 yards rushing, though.
Didn't he
90
run one
yards
in?
rushing.
Yeah.
He ran two in. He ran two in.
That's
So
what
I
you're
meant,
there for,
I meant
man.
passing
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
This makes you think, man, if they would have fired Hugh Jackson like 2-3 weeks earlier,
They'd be undefeated.
they could have been in these playoffs.
They'd
right
be
now.
undefeated.
If they would have fired Hugh Jackson right as he got out of that stupid lake when he did that damn plunge, you'd be like, all right, well, you're fired now.
Did you see the shirts? That I don't know if it was selling. It was some like off-site, and it was like future world champions, and it was like the parody Super Bowl shirts for the Browns. It's like, we're not horrible this year. But nah, that team's gonna do scary things for the next few years with Mayfield.
I mean, you have the future rookie of the year, tearing it up. How could you not?
Truth.
See, I'm annoyed because I know that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I know.
But I don't think that. Hypothetically, if it does
did
happen,
that stupid Fortnite dance to everybody's hearts.
hypothetically, if it does happen, I don't think that it should discredit anything that Barkley did.
No, I
Because
agree.
Barkley
100%
did such a wonderful job this
Either
year.
one of
but-
them should win it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not-
It's one of them.
Yeah.
It has to be one of
It's
them.
just my bias that's like,
Yeah.
Barkley's not gonna win.
I think what just hurts is the fact that Baker had this year with the Browns.
Yeah.
Like, if he wins 7 games, even like with any other shit pile team like the Cardinals, I really don't think we care as much.
No, we wouldn't at all.
But he saved the Browns.
He got Hugh Jackson fired.
Because the Browns are actually America's team. What better way to represent America
It's
than
true.
a Cleveland team?
It's true.
You know,
They embody the underdog spirit of America.
that's right.
Yeah. So before this year, in 2017, the Browns went 0-16. In 16, they went 1-15. In 15, they went 3-13. And 7-9 in 2014.
That was Pat Shurmur.
Pat Shurmur.
Yeah. So you go.
wow.
I don't even know that much math for 16 plus 15 plus 13. But that many losses against 3 wins, and then all of a sudden you get bumped up to 7 wins and a tie.
Bro,
And
you
a lot
went
of those losses that they had should have been
You took
wins.
the Saints the distance.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, you shook Drew Brees to his core.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so hyped for that game. I wanted them to win it so bad. And if Baker was playing, they would have won.
Yeah.
They gave
100%.
Chris Boswell the fucking, the yips throughout the entire season.
Yeah, they did.
Now let me ask you guys, what do you think? What do you think Tyrod Taylor's doing next year? You think he's going to another team to start?
I think
You think
he's going to be a back.
ride the pine?
I think what's smart for him is if he stays in Cleveland to be Baker's kind of like, all right, this is how you continue getting over the hill, because there's always the sophomore slump, which hits everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have someone there who yes can be a threat if possible, but also be the kind of guy who's like, yeah, I'm not gonna take your job, bro. Like, just get it. Like, go out and keep going.
Kind of like a mentor.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Is he
Tyrod's super respected in that organization.
Yeah,
Is
no.
he still is he still on the sidelines? Like now that when he got hurt, does he still go to the games? Is he still on the sidelines? I haven't really seen anything about him. How they had Flacco and RG3 coaching up Lamar Jackson.
No, because there was no. In Baltimore there was a quarterback controversy because Flacco got hurt with I think his hip, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when he was healthy, it's like, well, what do you do now? Lamar's had 3 wins in a row. Do you take him out? Do you ruin how you want to play the hot hand?
Mm-hmm.
Do you take out the hot hand to put back in your over $100 million quarterback?
Yeah.
You don't do that to Baker where it's like, oh, you could play your hot hand rookie or that dick from Buffalo from a year ago.
Yeah.
No offense, Tyrod. I know I just said you were well respected and called you a dick, but you know what I mean. It's
I meant is he still is he helping out behind the scenes?
Yeah, of course he is.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not Ben Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
Ooh, it's coming.
Well, Roethlisberger likes to come from behind, but
Ooh. You know what I didn't know that was crazy? There was a super popular Vine years ago of this football player, like juking a guy out of his shoes. I didn't know that was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Someone mentioned like this kid from Vine made it to the NFL. Like, this is such a cool story. I was like, I didn't know that was him. That's really cool.
Well, it's good to know Vine actually did something.
Right?
And
Did something for somebody.
he also
Logan Paul, guys.
tore it
Come
up
on.
in Louisville. So, I mean, Vine, Louisville, well, we'll get there.
It must have helped him in the draft.
Yeah. His coach in Louisville was like, "You're this guy? Get here, buddy."
Lamar Jackson, Vine State.
I give him so much credit. If he does like Monday Night Football the next year, it's like Lamar Jackson, Vine.
Vine University.
And then he does it again like another 6 seconds.
Wow. So I think we have one more game on the docket
Yes.
to hit.
What game is that? That's the the Browns. The Bears and the
The
Vikings.
Bears and the Vikings. Officially taking the Vikings out of it.
Yes.
Helping
Which is
the
what-
Eagles get in it.
The opposite of what I wanted.
Do you like the fact that the Eagles have become more of a Vikings rival? Because
No.
every year they just ruin the Vikings' life.
No, I see Eagles fans and Vikings fans. I get it. I know what it's like to be cock teased.
Did you enjoy when they went Foles? Foles.
Yeah, no, that's
Some
fair.
four-year-old boys.
To be fair, they haven't won a playoff game since they've done that.
No, but here's the thing. Philly fans would do that to Vikings fans.
It's true. It's
You
very
know,
true.
no, I understand them.
There's
yeah.
that clip
You know
of
what I'm
there's that
saying?
clip of like that woman in a Vikings jersey yelling at that kid, and he's hammered, and he's like, "Go Birds!"
But let me no. There's a little bit of Nick Landi lore involved in this Vikings feeling right now. I had a buddy I went to school with, John too. Shout out if you're listening. He's a diehard Vikings fan.
Okay.
So in our group of friends, we were just the outcast Vikings and Eagles fans, and we would joke around every year like, "Oh, they don't know shit. We're gonna get ours. We're gonna get ours." Never got ours. But then last year they pitted us against each other for the Super Bowl. And then they pitted us again. It's just torture because we bonded over our struggles, and now it's like, you guys remember the Disney movie Prince of Egypt?
Yes.
It's like,
very
once I
vaguely.
called you brother,
the
once
Moses-
I called like
the
a
Moses story.
It's like,
That's two things I don't like: Disney and religion.
It's like the Thanos meme where it's
Oh,
like,
God.
it's like, what did it cost to make the Super Bowl? Everything.
everything. Oh, but yeah, I feel for the Vikings fans. I don't want to be the Vikings killer.
I think Kirk Cousins did that.
Yeah,
for you
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, do you guys see they pulled this crazy stat that he's like, I'm butchering it, but I promise you, this is an approximate. He's like 4-25 against winning teams all time.
Yeah,
It's
Well,
because
he's
you can
0
take
and 8 in primetime games.
0-8 in primetime games, and this season he was 1-5 against winning teams.
you can take the man out of the Redskins, but you can't take the Redskins out of the man.
I
Out of context, that could be hilarious.
Someone just tunes in. Well, let me go.
Not listening to this show.
But I think in the beginning of the season I said that Cousins was very overrated going into the season. I don't know why Vikings even like entertain the idea of him being like,
Because
you
it's
know,
easier
head
to sign a
honcho.
quarterback.
Why didn't
What
tell
would
me
you
that.
have them do? That's my
and then
question.
and then you're like
Exactly.
writing
That
him
was really
high
the
in
best they
fantasy.
had.
I'm like, why,
Yeah.
dude? I'm
High-powered offense.
Well,
He's got Thielen and Diggs. I thought
Should
he
they
could
have
do
stuck
something.
with Case Keenum? Because Kirk Cousins really was the best the NFL had to offer last year.
Peterson was
The thing is, like,
could
because
have done something.
Cousins was like one of the most talked about guys last year in free agency. I felt like whatever team was doing, getting him was overpaying for mediocrity. But sometimes you have to at the
thought he would've
quarterback.
been I
Bro,
thought it would've been
nothing
a
was
backup.
worse than the fucking Sam Bradford deal that inflated the whole market.
Oh,
$20
yeah.
million?
and he's not even on the team
Play
anymore.
4 games.
Yeah.
Bro, Sam Bradford's lit right now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He worked for 4 weeks and made $20 million.
He did exactly what the Cardinals wanted him to do anyway. They're like, yeah, we're gonna lose.
Yeah, tank us.
Just
$20
fucking-
million to tank.
Yeah. So it's not Josh Rosen's fault. to
Well,
begin
it shows the Arizona fans. We care. We got Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
We wasted all of our money on this guy.
Well, they didn't know they were going to stumble into Rosen, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
They're like, one of these kids have to have bad tweets we could fucking put out there. Oh no, Josh Allen.
Did anybody have a gas mask bong that we can post a picture of?
Oh man.
But yeah, so I mean, the Vikings are out of it. Did you see the clip of Thielen and
And Cousins.
Oh, yeah.
Cousins going at it?
Yeah.
The whole game.
Cousins is like, I didn't have 10 seconds, and then Thielen's like getting in his face. I was like, boy, this is not going well.
There was the other clip.
They have no leadership, man. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They also had that clip where you see them on the sideline where I think Cousins was telling him how to do like a post fade, and he's like, "You're going this way," and you turn the other way. I think it was just a bad miscommunication, and you see like Cousins kind of very animatedly. He's like saying, "You got to be here, you got to be here," and he's like pointing really hard, and like then when he goes like, "Yeah, I don't have 10 seconds," and I think Thielen just said, "Well, fuck you then."
Yeah.
What am I doing?
He wasn't only just. He was like actually like. He started like the jog of doing the route. Like he was like showing like how to do it instead of like kind of explaining it and like angrily. He's like, "This is how you do it." And Thielen's like, "Yeah, I know how to fucking play a wide receiver."
And also, Stephon Diggs came at you. Saw him coming in from the corner. He's like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I think the Vikings will be. This was a tough first year, but I think next year they'll be a lot better.
I agree.
I agree.
Growing
pains.
pains.
So, but I don't think they should. I think they got to move on from Cousins. I don't
know about one and done. I don't know about
you
one
don't give
and
him
done.
84 guaranteed and then say, all right, bye-bye.
Yeah.
No, you got to go 2 more years with Cousins.
Give it a shot. It's hard because teams need time to adjust.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an extreme example is like, yo, the Heat didn't win the first time LeBron went there.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
They made the playoffs, so it's not the best comparison, but it's like after that they completely dominated the fucking league.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you need some time to adjust. A new quarterback means a new system, means a new offense. I think they get a new offensive coordinator too.
Yeah,
he came from the Eagles. Yeah.
Di Potato. Di Filippo.
That's what it is.
And then they fired him mid-season.
Yep.
Because Shermer was their coordinator and is now the Giants' coach.
Exactly. Yeah. So they lost a little bit. It's more about a loss of playbook than it is a loss of talent. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just one of those. It's one of those things where you guys were rattling off the stats of 0-8 in prime time or whatever, and your stat of like what was it 5-26 or whatever.
Yeah, like 4-25 all time.
4-25 like all time. Like that doesn't seem like a reliable quarterback to give all that money. But like I feel like it was a mistake to even give him that money, and now that you have to like
they were forced into it because where they were drafting, they were never going to get a quarterback. Yeah. They obviously slept on Lamar Jackson. I don't think they valued him as a first round pick.
I just think I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes you could get a quarterback in the later rounds and it works out for you. Like
Washington did that when they drafted Kirk Cousins in the 4th round.
Well, that's true.
So it's they.
That was crazy. Oh my God. What? Kirk was never even meant to be the guy in Washington.
Right. They drafted him.
That completely escaped
RG3.
me.
When RG3 got hurt, him and Colt McCoy battled for the spot. Yeah.
They drafted him the same year they drafted RG3, and they go, the reason why we did that is because RG3's a little he's a little guy, so we wanted to make sure we have a quarterback who could also play the same system. So
it's so weird to me because you look at a guy like Kirk Cousins who kind of got into a starter job because, starter got hurt and he kind of stepped up into the role.
Right.
And then you look at Nick Foles where it's like, if he wins his 2nd Super Bowl, is he a starter? Like, it's a very weird situation in the NFL.
And you're right because it's the team you play on. The team you play on picks your destiny. And,
of course.
And unfortunately, like with Nick Foles, he was traded for a 1st round pick to the Rams. Yeah. Then fucking Jeff Fisher took over. And now he's back. He came back just because all right, I'm trying to rebuild my career as a backup.
He almost walked away.
Yeah. Like he was on the
Mm.
Chiefs before. Like
he was bouncing.
You lost track of Nick Foles, and then when he came back, it's like, oh shit, Nick Foles is here. It's like that's right. He was. And there was
he was good. He's always been good.
There's a whole thing in the offseason again when they thought about maybe we should trade him. It's like, are you really going to trade Nick Foles for another 1st round pick?
Well, what I like, they said they wanted 2 1st round picks
for Nick Foles.
That was their line, which meant fuck you, we're keeping Foles for this exact reason. By the way, but I'm hyped. Yeah. I'm hyped. I know we're on Foles again, so stop me before I start fanboying.
So before we go into the rest of the show, the studs and duds and the playoffs, we're going to go rattle through the rest of the games. The Buffalo Bills dominated Andrew's Miami Dolphins 42-17.
New York's one true team.
Rough season for the real deal in Teal.
Yeah.
Next year, new coach. Maybe new quarterback.
New coach who dis.
We'll see what goes on. But
for Miami Dolphins, 2019, new year, new me. So
hashtag.
Speaking of a team that needs to get out of the season really quick, the Detroit Lions dominated the Green Bay Packers 31-0. Aaron Rodgers, I think, got knocked out of this game with a concussion. DeShone Kizer somehow played another game. And Matthew Stafford went off doing Matthew Stafford things. But the big highlight of the game was Matt Prater throwing that fucking touchdown.
That was
That
and
was-
Pat
and
McAfee
losing his fucking mind. Like he knew that he had to do it because he was in the booth.
You gotta
Like,
love Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee is...
Can that be the clip for the intro?
Yeah, it's going to be the intro.
Okay, thank
Absolutely.
Okay,
that was my
then-
idea.
The New England Patriots, they took the number 2 seed because the New York Jets obviously gave it to them by winning 38-3.
Does anyone else feel like they looked at the playoff thing and was like, how did the Patriots get another great seed? I feel like they've been quietly good.
Yeah,
but we're just so used to it.
But
But I was like, they got the second seed.
You don't
I was
pay
like, what?
attention to the Patriots until the playoffs.
Exactly,
That's the thing.
exactly.
You don't care about them.
Or unless you get the headlines
they got a
of
quiet
Patriots
division.
are going 14 and
It's a
14-0
bum-ass
right
division.
now.
It's just an
2
assumption
weeks
at this
left,
point.
you know.
The Carolina Panthers beat the New Orleans Saints. Teddy Bridgewater filled in for Drew Brees and effectively cut down his stock in the free agent market.
Yeah, it almost it's weird. You take a gamble like a team like the Saints when you do that. I'm sure they did it for themselves to see if he was going to be the guy to succeed Breeze.
I think they did it more to give Breeze a break for 2 weeks.
Well, it was kind of a both thing. You know what I mean? See what you got.
See your investment, and then
I also think after last year, everyone sees the value in having a skilled backup quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's see. The Atlanta Falcons beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by 2 points to determine who is the worst team in the South.
Bro, bad year for both of them.
Yeah,
How
for
do you
real.
start 3? How'd they start? What was it, 3-0? The Bucks.
Yeah.
they started-
And you end
Fitzmagic.
5-11.
Yep.
That's what happens when you have Jameis Winston at the helm of.
Well, Jameis Winston won him a couple games too, so don't take that away from
A
him.
couple of games were kind
It's
of
just they never let a quarterback get comfortable to get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
And so they shot themselves in the foot.
I like it. They won a couple games. It's like literally they won 2 games with him.
It was a couple.
They won 2 and 2. Like right, they won. So, the Houston Texans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars because they suck.
Yeah.
Jaguars are fucking
Man,
terrible.
I think I don't know if anybody else called it. I called it in preseason
called it.
Palooza.
Brian
That
called
they,
it.
we both did.
Yeah.
That they were gonna not be.
I said
the team
that.
they
I
were.
said the Titans would go into the playoffs this year.
Ooh.
Oops.
Well,
it's close.
yeah.
It's
Close.
close.
Sound like you completely
I said
missed
it's the
that.
curse. Any team that names their defense implodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
what's that god awful name you came up with for Dallas?
Oh no.
I never came up
The
with
Hot
that.
Boys.
Well, the Hot Boys is what they call the defensive line calls themselves.
No, there was one where they combined their names.
no, but Van
Jalen
Jalen.
Vandersmith.
Van Jalen.
Van
Van Jalen?
You know, the
Ugh.
2 linebackers. Again,
Oh, for Van Halen. Now I get it. That still sucks.
The fact that it took us like a month to get it.
Right?
Bottom 5 defense next year because they named themselves.
that was scary. Van Der Esch got hurt
Yeah.
this week, and we were like, let's sit him for the rest of the game, please.
Oh, no. Let's see. The Los Angeles Chargers dominated again the Denver Broncos because John Elway knows how to fucking draft quarterbacks.
My two disruptors in the playoffs have got to be San Diego and Chicago.
Yep.
I'm rooting for Phillip Rivers if the Eagles are out. I want Old Man Rivers to get his ring so that we can call that the greatest quarterback
I
draft class
agree.
of all time.
I agree.
I think it'd be cool to witness that.
Yeah.
Who else was
The
in that draft?
Roethlisberger and Eli Manning.
Yep.
Okay.
But Dak wasn't in it. So.
No,
Ezekiel
I was just
Elliott
thinking about
went
this. I'm just thinking about this year's draft class.
Well, they have to win.
Time will tell.
All right, so they'll have to
Baker
win
looks
5
good.
Super Bowls.
Baker looks.
I don't
Baker
know,
looks good.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. You think?
Definitely.
I don't know if Josh Allen's getting a Super Bowl ring anytime soon.
The Kansas City Chiefs beat the geniusly led Oakland Raiders because as much as they tried to get the first pick in the draft, they ended up with the 4th because they're fucking stupid.
Yep.
They should just play like champions.
Now,
Fucking
where else
idiots.
do they pick? Because they have like 3 first-rounders, right?
4th, like 20th, however how
Oh,
Dallas finishes. Like Dallas and Chicago both finished pretty late.
Yeah.
So it's like you wasted your time tanking.
You basically have a second-round pick at that point.
Pretty much. The Rams barely escaped the 49ers 48-32. I know that doesn't sound right, but the 49ers putting up a fight at the end.
I'm glad they did because if they were smacking them, the Bears might have pumped the brakes.
Yeah.
You know?
That's another team that's been an enigma for me this season is the 49ers. Because, like, they've gone through how many quarterbacks this year?
3.
Yeah. And,
once
like,
Jimmy
Nick
G
Mullins
went
has
down.
been looking like a fine starter out
I
there.
think we're promising when Jimmy G was
Yeah.
there. Like we thought that they were going to be like
Legit.
obviously not like legit,
Yeah.
but enough to like
Contender.
Contender,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm saying, like, you know, even like between Beathard, Mullins, and Jimmy G, like they're still putting up like 30 points a game. It's been bizarre.
Okay,
I think there's one more game, right?
No, there's the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals, also very close game, a 3-point difference. Man. It would not affect their standings at all. They still would have been playing.
Well, if Minnesota won,
if Minnesota actually did their job and won, that would have changed everything.
So that would have benefited us greatly. But
let's see who else.
We have one more game left.
That's right. The last game, another fucking nail biter, but shouldn't have actually been if they had their full team. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals by 3, 16-13, and they were brownless, as we found out. It was apparently they reported it as a knee injury. Turns out it was an ego injury. So, all right, let's get into it.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown, bad guy?
Yeah, I'll say it. I think we had talked about it earlier in the season.
When he almost killed that baby.
Yeah, when he almost killed. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that whole situation, and ever since that point, it's been chaos. I'll try to find it, but there was some post that said every bizarre thing Antonio Brown had done this season, and it was he sounds like a coked out rock star from the 80s. It's just what is wrong with this guy?
He threatened to choke a reporter, I believe.
Something
one
like
of them. He's a bad guy. He's a bad teammate. He threw a football at Ben Roethlisberger, which I was like, was it in practice? It's kind of doesn't that go with the flow? But apparently it was just apparently it's the worst fucking throw that they really tried to get at him. He missed meetings, which is a big no-no. He missed practices, and this game they needed to win, and he wasn't there for his team. And now he apparently it was a rumor. It's not official that he requested a trade. But everyone's kind of building that snowball that he's requesting a trade. Yeah. And then everybody on Instagram is hitting him up. It's oh, come to the Niners, come to the Jets, come to this.
Yeah,
he
responded to Kittle.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about this whole situation? I mean, it's tough to see.
I feel like Pittsburgh has just been kind of like a black hole of just
that's the Raiders.
Weird. Oh, sorry.
Trademarks.
Sorry, trademarks. All right, so I would insert other word here for a black hole.
Collapsing
a well of gravity. Good collapsing stuff. That's a good one. Real good.
Thank you.
So of just weird shit surrounding the whole organization. And that started with the whole Le'Veon Bell thing. I kind of feel like Antonio. I don't know how close they are, but I think him and Le'Veon were really, really close, and I think that what happened with Le'Veon kind of was influenced Brown to be you're not going to take care of I know you took care of me, but you're not going to take care of somebody who's just as important to me. Obviously this organization isn't I
see where you're coming from, but I disagree with you on why he did it. Nick, do you have it?
The Pittsburgh situation is interesting. So, because if you take it back to Le'Veon Bell. I really think the reason they weren't shelling money at him is because if you compared him to his replacement, who turned out to be James Conner, the numbers were almost identical. Their win-loss ratio, almost identical. Rushing yards per game, almost identical. So if you're the Steelers, you have the option of you could break the bank for Le'Veon Bell, or you could put faith in this guy you have on a rookie contract for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So I understood that move on the Steelers' part, and this is disregarding anything in that locker room that may have influenced this situation. I'm strictly speaking, I guess, from a general manager's point of view, but they handled it terribly.
That's what I think my problem was. Was the way that they handled that situation, I think, showed Antonio Brown, this organization is a joke. He's not going to take care of me. They're only looking out for themselves. Roethlisberger
and Tomlin have been there forever. It's an old guard versus new guard kind of situation. And I think it's a little bit political in the locker room.
I think that's I think the whole handling of the situation with Le'Veon Bell brought the politics into it. And, I'm not going to lie. Le'Veon Bell was top of the fucking charts, the last 2 years. That's somebody you stick with. You give him the money.
But what
because
about...
they didn't know they didn't know that Connor was going to go off the way that he did.
System back. Le'Veon Bell's system running back.
That could be the thing, though. His numbers could be very well a product of a good offensive system.
I guess we'll find out next year.
Look at James Conner. He already had the numbers just from being a replacement, and then they put him in, and he did it.
Yeah.
Connor stepped up this year. They can put their faith in Connor moving forward.
Andrew?
I was going to say, I think I said it in preseason. I was very vocal about Mike Tomlin. I don't like him as a coach. I think he coaches with too much emotion, and it's clear he doesn't have control of the locker room. And I think chaos comes from the top down, and you've seen it in that whole organization from the top. I think another issue is I would give a little bit of blame to Big Ben. I believe he's one of the older guys in the locker room. He sets a precedent.
He's a
the guy he ran Todd Haley out of town. He criticized Martavis Bryant to hell. He was pleased to go after Bell and call him out to the media.
Right.
And now we did the same thing with Brown. And I put him just as much on the podium.
Can I punch one thing in?
Yeah, absolutely.
As much as I dislike Antonio Brown and as much as his antics can be toxic to a locker room, he never really ever came out against Big Ben.
Yeah, never.
He always
never.
stood by his quarterback.
And Ben always does that
That's
same
his quarterback.
thing. He had like almost the same quote he said about Bell, about Brown, where he goes, well, I shot him a text and I told him, I love him as a teammate and I hope he comes back, and he just didn't answer me. And he said like the same exact thing about
because they know it's bullshit.
Yeah,
exactly.
They
It's a
know it's just like
political
it's
move.
like a Band-Aid over a fucking gashing leak in the side of a boat. Like it's not gonna do anything.
And as a Giants fan, I just like sit back and enjoy this because Antonio Brown is what everyone like tries to make OBJ into. Where they act like he's like this monster
OBJ's
and a
not
diva.
as bad.
No.
But OBJ's no...
He's a hothead on the field. He doesn't throw couches off balconies. And, like,
I'm just going to punch in.
No, yeah.
Odell Beckham, you just made $95 million the Giants have offered to pay you. Are you happy here in New York? Well, meh.
Yeah, but at the same time,
But at the same time,
And all the fans go to bat to him still.
They
He's like
love
not
him.
happy
They love
here,
him.
and they love him.
They
like,
love him.
it's
You can't
hilarious.
convince them.
you got Mikey's
convince them.
penny in a bunch. Come back.
the thing is, Odell Beckham never missed a practice.
He
Odell
doesn't get in Eli's face and be
This
like,
is
throw
why.
me the fucking ball.
This is why I'm
No,
saying
he
he's
just
not
gets
as bad
into
as
a
Brown.
kicker
I'm not
net.
saying he's as bad as Brown.
No, not at all.
You know.
This is like what they try to make him into about being like a prima donna. When like on a different, like sure he could be on the field.
I'd still
He
say
is-
he's
he
a
is
prima donna.
But
He's
it's
not
got
that
ramen
bad.
noodles on his
Okay,
but
fucking
not
head.
like that.
How about this? Who else on the Giants before Barkley got there was just as good as OBJ?
This is not about OBJ's talent.
But
top
that's what
5
I'm saying.
receiver in the league.
That's what I'm saying. Antonio Brown is saying, "Throw me the ball, throw me the ball." When you've got Juju Smith-Schuster, who's fantastic, who's now going to be a lot of people's first-round picks next year.
If Brown was not on that team, we'd look at Schuster like he's up
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And that's
all
the
of
thing.
them.
I think someone said it. Like he had over 100 and something receptions this year, over 1,000 yard receiving.
Yeah, he was insane
Had a
this
great,
year.
He had
Yeah.
a great touchdowns. But the fact that Antonio Brown is there, he gets lost in the shuffle.
But Antonio Brown never pointed a finger at his quarterback,
No.
and Odell did that this year.
Well, yeah, everybody else was pointing the fingers
Nah,
at
but
the
you
quarterback.
learn
But
you learn when you're 6 years old. You win as a team, you lose as a team. That's how
Yeah.
you maintain a good locker room.
100%.
Yeah, no,
know?
I could agree with that.
Look, he's a top 5 receiver. Good leadership, I think, solves the Odell problem. Because I think that's
Yeah.
the primary problem. Is there's
And-
really no big leader of your locker room because
Sure.
everyone kind of knows Eli's on his way out.
and he's passive.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I think Barkley's been the guy. I think,
Obviously,
I
he
think Barkley,
he calmed down Odell in like week 6 or
yeah.
week 3.
And
know?
even the first touchdown he scored, he just like was just like, thank you. And just like he didn't have like some flashy fucking Fortnite
Yeah.
dance in the end zone. You know what I mean? Like, and he's been that guy. He's been so mature. There was one game he had like crazy yardage, and they asked about the game. He goes, "Well, we didn't win." So that's all that matters.
That might have been the Eagle game when they
I think
took
so.
him out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Brown situation is going to be played out. It's going to be probably a major storyline throughout the entire playoffs. It's going to take away a lot of spotlight. Another thing that happened this week was Black Monday, where they fired a whole bunch of coaches that were not really good. Let's see, what teams got the cuts?
I think I have the list.
Well, why don't we
here.
start with the hometown?
Okay, Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles is out.
I think we all knew it was on the docket. I think we all knew
Yeah.
it was coming.
Yeah.
He's the one I think is one of the most reasonable out of all of them, as he's had 3-4 years. Is it 3 or 4?
3. I think it's
Yeah.
Was it
No,
3 or
um,
2?
It's 4 years because he had two with Fitzpatrick, one with McCown, one with Darnold.
That's right.
Yeah, that makes
I don't know
sense.
where I got that from.
I always, as not a Jets fan, I always kind of gave Todd Bowles an out of like, well, they've been kind of in a rebuild. They haven't had a team behind him. He's been trying to rebuild.
Right.
But I do think the Jets need a bit of a culture change. I think they need an offensive coach, and I think it's the right move.
Yep.
I don't think Todd Bowles is a bad coach. I just think the glove didn't fit.
Yeah.
As far as the
Also,
Jets.
they didn't believe in him at all.
Yeah.
They
no.
did not give him the. And his defense fucking failed him in that last game, so.
He was, before this, he was a defensive coordinator for Arizona.
That's correct.
Yeah. Hey, maybe he's going back.
Arizona's got an opening.
That's what I'm saying.
Dirk Cutter from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got the cut, so he's out because, that was just a mess down there. It's like they couldn't get out of their own way. They either were going to be team led by Fitzpatrick, team led by Jameis Winston. They could never find the right mix. So he loses his job after 3 years of being there, a very subpar tenure. And, does anybody really want to go to Tampa Bay? Does it have that vibe anymore? Like you had Dungy, you had Gruden, and then you had like Lovie Smith, and then like fucking.
It's kind of becoming kind of like Cincinnati of like football Siberia,
right?
Where it's like you don't really want to go play in Tampa
But better
Bay.
weather though.
Yeah, no, much better weather.
Yeah.
And then who else? We had Adam Gase.
Adam Gase from the Miami Dolphins surprisingly got fired because that's another guy who's never really given a full
shot.
Yeah.
Didn't Tannehill only play like a handful of games like under him? Like
we had 1 year, and then the next year, then he blew out his ACL, and then they had Jay Cutler come in.
I saw some. I don't remember what the record was, but it was like without Tannehill, they were like 11-10, and with him, they were like 14-12. So it was like not much changed with him or without him. I think they're just looking for a culture change, and it's going to be they're going to bring in a new quarterback with a new coach and kind of pair them together. And I think it wasn't working out with Tannehill and Gase. You weren't getting many results.
Another quarterback that got cut was Steve Wilkes from the Arizona Cardinals. I think he was a rookie coach.
Yes. This is the one I felt was the most unfair, I would say. Honestly, early on, they had the whole controversy with the offensive coordinator. David Johnson was getting nothing done. And I guess it was just a rocky start. Maybe something internally we don't know.
Do you think Wilkes got fired because McCarthy's out there and they want a quarterback?
I think they believe they can land McCarthy. And I think backup.
Yeah.
I think a backup might look at Bowles as an in-house guy, a guy who was.
I mean, they're in the same.
coordinator.
They're technically in the same situation as the Jets, where they have a young quarterback who has to be their franchise.
Yeah, and you need
So,
someone to groom.
I
him.
don't think Todd Bowles is going to get any of those jobs.
Oh yeah, I just think worst come to worst.
Yeah.
I also heard McDaniel's name being thrown around for a few jobs. I think the Packers job.
Look at it.
I can't believe after last year he's already getting. It's like that was just completely glanced over.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know who the Bengals are looking to interview for a
Yes,
head coach
Hugh
job?
Jackson.
Oh. Marvin Lewis gets fired after 16 years and going to be replaced by a guy who can't even win one game in 2.
Marvin Lewis was saying that he thinks Hugh Jackson is a great coach and has earned the right. It's like you're just trying to take the ship down with you, you asshole.
Well, if I'm going to be set on fire, might as well burn down the forest.
Exactly. It's not like they gave me job security longer than I ever should have had it.
Also, Vance Joseph of the Denver Broncos was fired. I feel that John Elway should be fired. John Elway has not helped that team whatsoever after Peyton Manning.
Abysmal quarterback choosings.
They should have stuck with Tebow.
Yeah.
Tebow is
No.
could have hung in the NFL.
In hindsight, I understand why they did it.
It was a smart move to get Peyton.
No. Yeah, never mind.
When you
God.
I lost the whole Peyton thing.
Breaking news.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh, we have
Breaking news.
Oh, God.
So I don't know if you guys watched Fox football, but they have the new show, The Masked Singer.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the first unmasked singer of this show, Antonio Brown.
What? No.
Well, if you want,
This is breaking as of 10 o'clock p.m. today, and it is 10:30 right now.
I guess that's what James
Yo, did
Harrison.
he hack culture on purpose? He must have.
Yeah.
He must have.
Were we all played?
Yeah, I
just
think
to
we
bring
might.
I think
ratings
so.
to the show?
I feel like, the machine kind of just fucked us.
And the Reddit and the Twitter comments are just all gifs.
Like gifs of shocked Steelers players?
Yeah, shocked Steeler players.
Well, we have his
Holy
exclusive
shit.
interview coming up with James
Yeah,
Harrison.
James
that will-
Harrison. They're going to do it on Instagram Live, I believe. So I believe that's all the coaches. I think Adam Gase is going to be looked at pretty heavily by the Packers, and I think the Cardinals and the Jets.
Yeah.
They really want an offensive guy.
situations.
I honestly think the Packers should get a defensive guy. I've been saying it for a while. They don't need any more help. They don't need to develop Aaron Rodgers anymore.
Right.
I think the Jets might get Gase.
He's
He
Yeah.
knows the ins and outs of your division rival.
and I think
You know what I mean?
That
That could be
could
enticing.
help him.
Yeah.
That could be a big thing for him.
Ooh. I'm sure we'll have some episode where we
Yeah.
start predicting crazy off-season,
Yeah.
stuff.
All right, so I guess that's
Time,
the time for studs and duds right now.
Absolutely.
This is our famous
a
segment.
world
World famous
famous.
segment. And as I heard, if you have to call something famous, it's obviously not famous.
Yes.
Our
Is
infamous.
Our infamous.
is it going to be this episode, or is it going to be the end of the season where we do like our season-wide stud and dud?
End
we
of the season, I think we'll have like a little
after this, probably the Super Bowl.
like award show type deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I was only thinking just because we could go over the whole regular season, and then we could have one for like the playoffs.
I feel like this is
So that's
something
why.
that could be said off microphone.
probably.
I was just wondering. I don't fucking know.
On air
we can-
deliberations.
All right, my bad.
Just bust into this fucking production meeting right now.
How do we? So studs and duds. Does anybody know theirs, or I wrote mine down? If
Nick, do you want to go?
do you want to go, do you have a
Stud
stud?
and dud. Well, I might do it a little differently.
Okay.
Ooh,
So my stud is the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Oh.
Okay.
Because that was a tune-up game. You should shut out the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
shut out the Washington Redskins. Because if the Eagles are going to do it, it's going to be because both balls are rolling. If either the offense or defense slumps in any one of these games, Eagles are going to get squashed. So that's my stud. My dud is the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise.
ooh,
Ultimate
I like it.
dud, flaccid, just shriveled, bad. Pittsburgh is just when's baseball season?
Couple more months.
You know what I'm saying? That's Pittsburgh right now.
One more month. In February.
Oh yeah.
Rome is burning in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
This isn't just.
I like Juju though. I like Juju.
I like Juju.
Juju's cool.
Yo, Juju. I actually have a 1 degree of separation of Juju, so that's pretty cool.
What is it?
He plays fantasy football and drafted him.
Well, my boss, Juju, is in talks of a little something with my boss.
For G Fuel?
I didn't want to fucking announce. Can you
Well, it's
fucking
either
bleep that?
look,
Because that's
it's
not
either going to
fucking-
be G Fuel or Nike.
Well, nobody. I don't advertise that I work for that company, so if you could please just
you
bleep that,
technically
because that's
only
They
just
brought it up.
it's
work in the warehouse.
it's a little censored. So if you could just beep that out real quick, just the
Yeah.
name of the company.
You really think
All
I'm
right.
gonna go in here? And
So
beat
I
that?
then I
mean, I would
technically have
appreciate
one degree
I
of
would
separation.
appreciate that.
Enjoy your employment while you can, Mikey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank
Mike
you.
DeQuattro.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So is that your stutter done, or are we just gonna sit here and kind of wait it out?
Oh no, I'm
Oh.
still looking for mine.
Oh,
so.
okay, Andrew.
All right, my stud of the week is Andrew Luck.
Okay.
Killed
yeah.
it. I think his quote about going to the playoffs was he said it's stinking awesome, which is such an Andrew Luck thing to say. And I didn't know this. I found this out today. He's 11-0 against the Titans, which is the best
Damn.
record in NFL history for a quarterback against one team.
That's
He
nuts.
must have been swearing up a storm when he found out. They're like, "Oh, this is a game we need to win."
Yeah,
against
he's
the team.
like, yes.
I was like, "Sweet sassafras, who did it?"
And my dud of the week is Kirk Cousins for not getting it done once again and doing Kirk Cousins things.
Yeah. My stud of the week. I'm gonna have to go with Jarwin on the Cowboys.
Okay.
Three touchdowns, and really showed that he could be a threat in the playoffs this week, and just give the Seahawks and whatever other team just another added threat that they have to worry about. My dud for the week, as much as I hate to say it, because I like him as a quarterback, but Terry Bridgewater, man.
Teddy, not Terry,
Whoops.
not his brother Terry.
I pictured like a
My
horrible combination of Terry Bradshaw and Teddy Bridgewater.
He's a black guy with a blonde ring around his head, going, "Listen up, man. You gotta...
Sorry, Teddy Bridgewater.
I was in failure to launch."
You get the opportunity to play with the high power offense of the Saints, and you kind of just drop the ball. Granted, it is the first time he played since his injury, right?
No, he played in preseason for the Jets.
Oh, okay, that's right. Actual game since his injury.
Sure.
Yeah. So it kind of sucks because like I said, I like him, but as
Not
Brian,
that much.
As Brian said earlier, it hurts his free agent stock, and you don't want that when you have an opportunity to show that you could still hang in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Okay. That's pretty good. So I have two studs of the week, actually. One serious and one sentimental. The serious one is Dak Prescott actually doing something really good going out there, dropping almost 400 yards on the Giants, even though they were giving him 400 yards. He made some incredible throws that, I can't take. Honestly, I obviously don't like the fact he hit Cole Beasley in the fucking end zone.
Even though Landon Collins was out there, all he could think in his head was challenge accepted.
Exactly. He's just I'm going to eat Campbell soup and fucking fight you or whatever the fuck. Fuck you. But, he stepped up. He didn't have to play the whole game. I think he said he's going to play the whole game, and that shows a lot of fucking fight in this kid.
Yeah.
My sentimental pick is Kyle Williams of the Buffalo Bills. His last game, he played like a billion years for the Bills. Only made the playoffs once.
That last year?
And the last year was his first year in the playoffs. He, as a stand-up guy, he could have went anywhere he wanted to. Stayed in Buffalo, in that shitty fucking town. With the Bills Mafia, they're out there. Respect the Bills Mafia. I get it.
Oh, much respect.
Much respect to
they
the
were
Bills
my
Mafia.
stud of the week last week.
That's right. But I think they showed him tons of love at the last game.
They threw him a pass, didn't they?
Yeah,
he caught a pass.
And and the fact that he and he got to win, he got to go out on a win, and in the locker room he had his kids in there, and they did the hands in the center, the 1, 2, 3 team business.
Yeah.
And I'm not a rah-rah guy that
no,
that
but
shit.
it's...
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was a sentimental thing, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
My dud of the week, coming back around, is John Gruden for making the fucking Oakland Raiders, who were kind of on the periphery of the playoffs every year, into a total joke. And then not even getting the first fucking pick in the draft for tanking.
Yeah.
You're so dumb you won games. So you signed Nathan Peterman, but you left Derek Carr in there. You're the worst coach. You're so fucking stupid. I hope this whole experiment blows up in your face. And now the city of Oakland hates you guys. They're suing you. So good job, you dumb dickheads. That's that.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that John Gruden has been his dud of the week, every week of the
It's
season.
fantastic.
I think 15 of the 17
No, I like
weeks.
it. You're throwing shade on Gruden.
There was 2 weeks where you were like, no, somebody was worse.
You get to revel in that. You get to revel in that forever if he turns out to actually be the dud.
John, the fact that he traded Khalil Mack for saying we don't have the money for him, but taking a $100 million contract, and then saying one game when they lost where they could have won if they had a pass rusher, saying pass rushers are hard to find, and they had one, and then after they trade Amari Cooper, saying I didn't want to tell the guys about the Amari Cooper trade until I saw them on Wednesday. It's you forgot the fucking internet's a thing. You fucking idiot. When the team's surrounded by reporters and they notice one guy's not there.
Also, I think he said something about seeing Amari at practice Tuesday. It was he's in Dallas.
Yeah,
he's already there.
Gruden might be my stud of the season. That Amari Cooper trade.
He gift wrapped you a playoff for it. But yeah, John Gruden, burn in hell, and you sucked it on Monday Night Football. So let's talk about the playoff games.
Yeah, let's get right to playoffs. Normally we would pick our games of the week.
Right.
However, there are 4 of us, and there are 4 games.
Rules still apply. You can't pick your own teams, guys. So suck it. So.
So we're gonna do a little preview of each game,
Right.
and I guess we'll predict scores of what we think the game will be and who will win.
All right.
So. Do you have it up, Brian?
Give me 1 second. I think I took a
do.
screenshot of it.
Yeah, I know we put it. I know I sent it earlier in the.
Okay, so first game up on the docket is Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans. It's going to be a 4:30 game on probably on CBS or ESPN. Oh, ESPN's covering it. So maybe the Booger Mobile will be there.
No, it's not there.
Yeah, they
It's
said
not
they got
retiring.
rid
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Retiring it.
Oh, Booger will be somewhere.
Sad.
Oh, so that means Jason Witten's going to be calling that game?
Probably.
Oh, he ran into that like a magic hat.
Now it's not my game of the week.
Watch it on mute.
Yeah.
So this is a AFC South showdown.
Yeah.
Who's gonna take it? It's gonna be in Houston. Place is gonna be electric.
I mean, Texans were my Super Bowl pick in preseason.
So Andrew,
I gotta ride the hot hand.
Andrew's taking the Texans. What's the score?
See, normally I'm 3-point Parker. I can't give 3-point differentials for every single one of these games. However, I can for this one. 24-21 Texans.
Mikey.
I think it's going to be 27-17 Texans.
31-28 Colts.
Whoa.
That's what I got.
I'm going with the Colts as well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it's going to be 14-10.
14-10.
14-10.
I think they know each other so well. This is the third time they're playing, and I think the Colts are the ones who broke the Texans streak the last time.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. It's a defensive showdown. Okay. And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, you got home field advantage in Houston.
Yes.
It's going to be electric. Like we said, we covered this game a lot earlier, but both teams fully healthy. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be. I think that would be like my game of the week out of all of these.
That's this Saturday. So also playing again on Saturday, but the primetime game on Fox. It's going to be Seattle Seahawks going into Jerry World to play the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Mikey, how you feeling?
I honestly think we'll take it. I think it's going to be 24-17.
Take it by a touchdown. But I'm not comfortable with saying that.
No. We're very hot at home this year. We have a healthy offensive line, and we have Cooper on our team now, and they don't have Earl Thomas, who single-handedly won them the game when we played them. Our defense has gotten better. Earl Thomas had 2 picks against us.
Okay.
Our defense has gotten nothing but better since then, and our run offense is our offense is now starting to click now that we got Cooper, now that we found other targets.
So Mikey's on team #extend Lenahan, so.
Not Lenahan, but Garrett. I'm okay with keeping Garrett.
Extend Scott Lenahan. That's what he wants you to know.
No, please.
Dallas Cowboys, please extend Scott Lenahan.
No, stop it!
Mikey wants NFC champion.
Lenahan Prescott 2020.
Lenahan forever hand.
No.
Nick, what your
So, the Dallas Cowboys have one of the better defenses in the NFL and one of the better defenses in these playoffs. They've been hot the last few weeks, and Dak Prescott had a surprisingly good game for 400 yards in Week 17.
I feel there's a big butt coming on.
But
there it is. There it is.
Dak Prescott has never won a playoff game. Dak Prescott has never beaten Seattle.
What?
And Russell Wilson has never lost in the city of Dallas.
What?
So I've got...
Sounds like a lot of streaks can be broken.
Absolutely.
Jerry, if you see seven blacks in roulette, do you go with the red or do you go with the black?
You play black till you're done.
Also, if you catch on later on out of context, this would be pretty...
Fair enough. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys pull it off, but I've got the Seahawks winning that 21-14.
Interesting.
See, I'm split because on one hand, I agree with everything Nick said. I think, when was the last time Dallas won a playoff game? When was the last time, they made any noise in the playoffs?
2015.
Did they win that game?
You didn't win a playoff game.
You guys haven't won a playoff game.
You haven't won in like 2 decades.
When they play, I think it was like
Well, that's not true.
You lost to Green Bay.
2010, I think, when Romo beat the Eagles. I think that was the last time they won. I think that's it.
No. Did Romo? I thought Romo never won a playoff game.
No, he won a playoff.
No, Romo's won the championship
Oh,
game and he
that's
dropped
right.
the fucking...
Yeah. Well, on one hand, while I agree with that...
Oh, this is a rematch of that game.
Is it really?
Seattle, Dallas. You can finally relive the flub.
Prescott flubs it.
Whoa. We won the wild card game in 2015. Suck a dick, all of you. I was right. All right? Fuck off.
You won a game.
Wait,
what?
Wait, what?
Yeah. In 2015.
Oh, wait, that's right. Because
it was the next game it was the next game we lost to Green Bay. Yes.
Who'd you beat before Green Bay?
You had a bye. Because the Giants lost to Green Bay.
You won the division in 2015.
2014.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. 2014.
The Romo era.
Yeah, 2014. We beat the Lions in 2014, and then we lost to the Packers in 2014. And that was the Packers game that we were watching.
The Packers again.
Just want to make sure my Dak Prescott stats were still aligned here.
It is.
He's gonna tweet you. Suck my Dak when they win.
I deserve it. No, they win, please.
He only played one game, and that was against the Packers.
So on one hand, I side with that.
And they lost by a field goal.
I think history says Seahawks win. Like the home field advantage, though. If this game was in Seattle, it would be a no-brainer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
But being in Jerry's world, I don't know. It's going to be.
Russell
You know
loves
what I
it
mean?
in Jerry's world.
He feeds off the anger.
Yeah, it's true.
He lets the hatred run through him.
I guess in my mind, I'm just thinking about how they shut down the Saints, and I'm looking at Seattle,
You can't play a week ahead, man.
Carroll always finds a way. He always finds a way.
Mobile quarterback too.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I'm going to go Seattle.
We have to take advantage of ours.
I'm going to go Seattle 27-21.
Okay.
27-21?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Dallas over Seattle.
Woo,
I feel that
split.
Dallas has a better running attack than Seattle. I think Dallas is going to get a lead, and they're going to run it away. They're just going to – it's going to be like 13-7, and it's just going to be fucking Zeke for like 40 minutes, just like, okay, here it is. Here's another run. They're going to take the ball out of Dak's hands and just give it to Zeke.
Feed him.
Just going to feed him. But I also feel that's also dangerous because, as Andrew showed us, Zeke had 6 fumbles. And when you have fumbles, they always come back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
I think this game's going to be close. It's going to be tense. Mikey's going to rip out his hair.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
But Dallas wins. And that's...
Yeah. The only thing I can really say is, it's 2 different teams from when they played earlier in the season.
Definitely.
And
yeah.
I think that's going to give
No
us
one
the
expected
edge.
these 2 teams to be here.
Yeah.
Everyone thought Seattle was going to go on a hard rebuild.
My Super Bowl picks were the Chargers and Seahawks, actually.
Whoa.
Those are my Super Bowl picks.
I don't even know. I
I
had Texas.
I think you had...
Fucking Seahawks.
I might have had them playing.
You had the Rams.
You had the
Rams, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so now moving over to Sunday afternoon, we have the rematch of the Baltimore Ravens against the Los Angeles Chargers. Do the Ravens walk out with another victory? Oh, they're going to be in Baltimore. I'm sorry.
Charger Mania.
Plug it in and feel the charge.
I was a doubter for so many weeks because I said they've played shit teams. They played the Raiders, the Cardinals, everything. And then in the later half of their season, they picked it up and they kept beating good teams. So I'm sticking on the train. Chargers take it. Fucking 30-17.
Whoa.
I'm all on board with the Chargers.
You think Lamar's not going to do anything?
I like Lamar. I just don't think he's ready.
Now they got the tape on him.
Yeah. Now this tape.
Mikey?
21-27 Ravens.
Okay.
Ooh, going Ravens.
Okay.
You think the defense is going to hold?
Their defense is good. I think that I think there's going to be a defensive touchdown that's going to be a key part in the play.
Eric Weddle takes his revenge.
Revenge game.
I don't know. I just feel like
Mikey look-alike Eric Weddle.
I think their defense is so strong, and this is the game where they really need to show up, and that's going to be how they show it. I think the Ravens take it.
Okay.
Although
right.
I would love the Chargers to win.
It comes down to something we said weeks ago where it's like, would you rather be a team that knows you're in and has to prepare, or be a team like the Ravens that sneaks in and you ride that momentum? We saw the Giants do it. And
Yep.
we saw,
Twice.
it could happen.
Yep.
You never know.
34-21 Chargers. Look out for old man Phil. He's hungry. He wants that ring. They're my sleeper team, both on Sunday and for the rest of the playoffs. Chargers 34-21.
Rivers is poised. He knows this is it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
This
He knows.
is it.
I agree with you guys. I'm going. I'm saying 21-0. I think they flank them.
Woo! Shutout.
Shade.
A playoff shutout.
Shade on
Shutout.
Baltimore.
I unfortunately, I do like the Ravens. I do like Lamar, but there's something about Phillip Rivers this year that says not now, not ever. He's there. He's focused. He let them fucking walk all over him in Los Angeles, and he's like, I'm just gonna return the favor.
It's true.
It's gonna be a messy game, and the Baltimore fans are gonna be very upset at the end.
I think that's the first game we're not all split on.
Yeah.
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 No, he took the Ravens.
I took the
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, it was
wasn't
2-2.
2-2.
It was 2.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
the last 2 games.
Okay, and now Philly, Chicago.
Philly, Chicago. Foles meets Sproles. That's going to be the headline of the day. I think the way the Eagles win this game is they contain Mitch Trubisky.
The biscuit.
Who I got mad respect for. He got me and my boys in the playoffs. But I think you're only as strong as your weakest link. And in a quarterback league, I think the Eagles have the better quarterback on Sunday. It comes down to the Philadelphia defense. They were 28th in the league this year, but I don't feel that's an accurate representation of who they are, given that they've gotten healthier and that they've been very volatile. They've either had games where they crush it or they have games where they get crushed. So I think the Philly defense steps up, and I think they beat the Chicago Bears 24-18. I think Mitch Trubisky is going to get knocked down more times than he can count.
I'm going to go next. I think I kind of feel that the Bears will win. only because it's the same reason why the Cowboys will win. The Eagles don't have a running back. The Eagles are playing in Chicago in the winter. And, you know, Foles has been good. You know, he's proved a lot of people wrong, and he might prove me wrong. But I feel that Chicago in January, I mean, well, it's global warming, so you never really know what you're going to get. But I feel that it's a 4 o'clock game. Sun's going to be going down. Bears are really hard hitting, and if you looked at and I'm gonna pull my Mikey impersonation out here. If you looked at the game against the Giants, the only reason why the Giants had any shot against the Bears is because they ran Barkley at Mac all the time, and they had no fear at it, and Barkley ran over him. There's you can't point to Wendell Smallwood,
Josh
Adams, or Darren Sproles, and you can't be like, he's gonna overrun Khalil Mack. And their secondary.
The Eagles will definitely not win the game with that game plan, given that the nature of their running backs is small and agile.
And scattered. Yeah. I feel that if they have any chance, it's to go at Trubisky and make him make mistakes.
Yeah, that's the only way. I think it's the only way they win.
I feel that it will be a very close game. I see it being 9-6. Field goals winning.
Ooh, no, I could see that.
I'm going out there, baby.
I could see that.
I can agree. I think it's going to be low scoring. I have the Bears as like my disruptors, and I think their defense is sick.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's definitely scary.
But if there's one thing I know, it's an unflappable quarterback that is not afraid of defenses. That if I looked inside their mind, I'd see a monkey playing cymbals. And that is Nick Foles.
Oh!
I'm taking the Eagles, 17-14.
All right,
I'm going Eagles over Bears.
Is that your Parker pick?
Shock the world.
Shock the
Parker
world.
shocked the system.
Here comes Foles, baby.
I think it's gonna be 21-14. I think I'm gonna go with the Bears. The Bears, with the amount of passing that they do, I feel like the Eagles secondary can't keep up. Not anymore. I think at the beginning of the season when everybody was healthy.
Everybody was there, yeah.
Yeah. Now that you lost
McLeOd.
McLeod, yeah. Thanks to
Amari. Yeah. Keep going.
I just want to. All right.
So who's going to be covering Allen Robinson then? Do you know?
Don't know.
You should have not you, but the Eagles should have.
Yes, you. Me.
You should be covering.
You should have your best corner be shadowing him the whole game. Like that's the only thing to really.
The Eagles seem to love man to man. And they don't seem to love deep safeties. Yeah, and it's been a problem for me watching them. It freaks me out. It's the reason you guys ran the score up on us.
Which is why I want to play you guys. That's why I want you guys to win and we to win, and then we play each other.
I have to think. I hope that Jim Schwartz and the Eagles are not dumb enough to make that same mistake twice.
Because man is, if you think about it, man is what cost you guys your cornerback. Because the fact that he had nobody behind him and he had to go, up with somebody like as good as a route runner as Cooper, who tore his ACL. Yeah. Like that. I think that's.
Just to give you guys the lay of the land, Andrew's sitting over here like he's got to take the worst shit, but it's like, I can't deal with a Cowboys fan and an Eagles fan complimenting each other.
Because you brought up a horrible possible future for me of you two playing each other and me having to watch that game. Who
would you root for?
Brother, you did.
Once you called me brother.
So who would you root for?
See, on one hand,
both of you, I would love to know if it came down to Dallas.
I feel like
I'd
be so dead inside.
NFC champion, because it also proves my point.
The Patriots await in the Super Bowl again.
Look, if the Cowboys and the Eagles play each other in the NFC Championship, it proves my point that Scott whatever the fuck his dickhead name in LA, Scott McShay or
Scott McRainman,
Sean McVay. Sean McVay. I'm getting him and the Buffalo Bills coach confused.
I think his name's John Gruden.
Yeah, John Gruden. Yeah. Whatever his name is. He's not a smart coach. He's actually the dumbest person alive, and I have photos to prove it. But I would vote for a swift kick to the dick. Actually, I actually.
But what about Foles?
I would like to see.
We have to have one of those things where, like, if that game happens, we have to. I eat like a California Reaper or some like crazy shit. I have like some fucked up challenge.
Don't get into this again, Andrew.
One of my really good friends who I work with is a Seahawks fan, and we have a bet where if Seahawks win, I have to wear like a Seahawks hat for the whole week during work, and then he has to wear a Dallas hat.
That's
Man
that's
up and
like,
wear a jersey.
That's like so
I did it.
low
You
risk.
did do it.
And because it's only because you
I
guys
can't
have
fit in these
hair that I feel like
jerseys.
you're missing out on a tremendous opportunity. I feel like if the Seahawks beat, depending on how bad the Seahawks beat the Cowboys, or if the Cowboys beat, you should shave the logo into the side of your head
God,
because
no.
that will take a week to grow back.
God, no.
So
If we keep making bets with Mikey where he has to shave stuff into the side of his
still
head,
gotta-
I'll never
he's bound to
shave.
do it.
he still has to get a Stardust tattoo from like 6 years ago.
Yeah, he does.
That's true. Yeah. Guess
That Royal Rumble tattoo game that never came to
That no
fruition.
one-
you didn't get it either.
I didn't
so-
get a Miz tattoo. So.
Yeah, so and you were like, yeah, I'll just get the Miz logo because then I could just turn it upside down as
You
the
know what?
WWE logo.
But
and
at
I'm
least
like,
I was honest about keeping it. You were gonna get like some World of Warcraft
I was
thing.
just gonna get the Crossroads, which was his finishing move, and also a place in World
Cop
of
out.
Warcraft.
It's a cop out.
So was the Miz logo.
How's the Miz logo?
You're like, oh, it's a WWE logo.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So who would you guys aside if you had to pick one? No swift kick to the dick, like, and they actually.
I'd pick Philly.
I think I would too.
go
Does it
with
have
Philly.
anything to do with Foles?
No, it has.
No.
Partially.
It's an East Coast thing. It's actually like a legit East Coast thing because the East Coast is tougher than every other coast.
I think for
East Coast, Beast Coast.
That's right.
honestly at that
I'm
point,
an
'cause
East Coast man.
I've always been a bit of a Foles fan. Like even when he went to the Rams, I felt like he never got a fair shake.
Yeah.
So if there was gonna be somebody in the East that I had to watch, like basically do what Eli did, it would
Yeah.
probably be Foles. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
See,
They're both
my-
as doofy.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what it is.
He embodies. That's why
Do
I
you
said
see him
like
be doofy to
just
beat Brady?
to be like because they're just like
I guess so.
they're just doofy and like I feel like they don't fully like grasp the stakes of the content.
That's why they can just like focus.
Wait,
He's
I've been
unflappable.
playing football my whole life, but yeah, I don't understand why the Super Bowl's so important. I guess so.
See, I don't know. Like for me, like obviously no offense, but like I just hate the city of Philadelphia like so
Have you
much.
been?
Yeah,
It's a delightful place.
Yeah,
No, I haven't.
it's
It's
actually-
actually kind of shitty.
the
Like,
birthplace
I've
of
been
our
there a few
country,
times.
you
We were
swine.
there. We were there for Riot Fest. Was it? Was
That was
it
in
Riot Fest?
Chicago.
Oh, no, not Riot Fest. Self-help.
Yeah, we did stuff up.
Sorry.
That was in,
Like when you go to like actual Phil, like you don't go to like the surrounding. You go to like the town.
No, but
Go,
even,
go.
even
The closer you
there-
get to the center, the
but
better.
Yeah.
But the
That
fan-
one strip
the
of town
fans
that
there, the fans there across every sport is just like the worst fans. Like
Deal with
you know,
it.
Don't you,
Dallas fan.
don't you love Boston though?
no, no, I hate Boston.
No, he hates Boston.
I
Oh,
fucking
okay.
hate
Legit.
Boston.
Oh, you just date
And
girls
I-
from Boston. That goes
That's
to-
right. That go to
yeah.
school in Boston that live here.
But bro, it's funny because like what you're saying, the Philadelphia like sports fans have a reputation of is just like what New Yorkers have a reputation
Yeah,
for.
and that's why. That's
It's
why
the
I-
outside
like,
looking.
That's
in.
why I kind of
Yeah.
identify.
Yeah, I hate
I'm from
New
New
York
York, but I
fans,
hate
too.
people who are also very aggressive and say
know,
speak their mind.
But
You know?
like Flyer
Hey,
fans,
doing?
Flyer fans, pieces of shit. Fucking Philly fans when they were on top of the world, they were pieces of shit. And I hate Eagle fans.
At least
no
they had the
offense,
decency
from
to.
Philly.
At least they had the decency to burn their own city. It's not like they came to your backyard. And went, Eagles what?
They only
know
they have
that-
to
how do you
eat
know
their
that-
own horses shit, not our horses.
I'll have you know that Gritty is a national treasure.
Gritty is a fucking dope mascot, though. I'll give
Oh,
them
my
that.
God.
But their just Philly's fan base in general, like I never want them to win.
I also want to
anything.
see them get to the Super Bowl again and lose, just to see what happens.
Bro, it happened in 2004.
Yeah, I know.
See, I want them to win just because it's like, how do we top what we did to the city last time? Like I looked
The
at
fucking
like,
Ben
Yo,
Franklin
imagine-
grave will be
It's fucking nuke. What is it?
the fucking
the other side of the Liberty Bell will
they
be
have
cracked.
like the snap map feature where you can look.
So here,
I looked at Philly right after the Super Bowl. It
Fire.
looked like an apocalypse.
no, I watched
literally-
live streams. It was
Did you?
incredible. It was. There was anarchy.
I saw.
the cops were in on it. They were high fiving people.
Shooting
crowd
people,
surfing.
handing black guys
They're
guns
shooting
and
it up
batons.
in the
Like, it's
air.
your turn now.
I saw a bus parked in the road. People all on top of the bus, and a full block of people behind them all going, Foles! Foles! With like broken store windows and like fire behind them. I was like, what?
Did you?
They
What the hell is
overturned. They
this?
overturned a truck with people on top of the truck.
The best was, I don't know if you guys saw. I was happy to see it. There was this one like little white lady going around town, going like, "We're better than this," and everyone in the background was like, "No, we're not." You see that dude who ate the horse shit? It's Steve. He was waiting for
You're
this
like
day.
2 degrees from that guy.
There was like shattered store windows,
Yeah.
street poles
Well,
down.
this is why I hope everyone keeps an eye on the NFL playoffs this year. If you see some questionable flags in Philadelphia's favor, I'm going to birth the conspiracy that the NFL is going to fix it so Philadelphia could win the Super Bowl, so that our government could test martial law on the city of Philadelphia.
They're going to test the purge. Exactly. So, hey, guys, coincidentally, the purge starts right after the Super Bowl.
Who would have guessed
They're
it?
going to turn it into Arkham City.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
Walls just come. That's where Trump's walls are. It's
They're actually already
It's a lot
planted.
cheaper.
The hatch doors open and the walls just rise around.
Philadelphia's not sending us their best.
Pelosi and Schumer are like, oh, is that what you meant? Ah, cool. There you go.
We can fund that. We can go fund that one.
We're about this life.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Nick, I look forward to our matchup.
In the NFC Championship, I meet you.
I look forward to
the.
the Saints and the Rams instead of the fucking.
Nah, I can't bring myself to root for the Saints. I got a friend of mine who is a lifelong Jets fan, and I flame him every time I get the chance, especially on the air. But he was a lifelong Jets fan, and he jumped ship to the Saints.
Oh.
To the Saints post Bountygate.
Oh no.
Jump ship. It's just like, no, you're a Jets fan, man.
Yeah, like, come on.
That's
Suffer.
upsetting.
It's time to suffer. You gotta be a sadist if you're a diehard sports
That's
fan.
upsetting, 'cause-
Because you're gonna spend 90% of the years, if you're lucky, losing.
Yeah.
You know?
Was he like at Katrina? Like, what was it? What happened?
You know what? It was a
gotta-
shortcut to the top, is what.
That's what it was.
okay.
Yeah.
He's
That's-
going to have a talk with Chris about Drew Brees, and he won't be a Saints fan anymore.
Oh my god. I think that definitely brings us to the end of the
Yeah,
show before we get ourselves into more trouble.
Absolutely. Nick, thank you so much for coming
Yes.
on.
Guys, thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Yeah.
Absolute
And
We
blast.
look,
and
we look
we
forward
do
to you
wanna come
punching
by.
Mikey in the face after the Eagles beat the Cowboys.
If that game happens, you do have to come back on.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
making that
I
a
was just
thing.
asking if I come on after the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Kind of
absolutely.
recap everything we did
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And as always, you could find him over on YouTube. Everything.
YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. Just just search the Landi Lodge. You'll find me. Just want to let you guys know, all three of you are invited to come onto my podcast anytime.
Oh,
Wow.
Please
I'm
come
wanted
on.
somewhere.
I love being a detriment to other
Can
people's
we just
podcasts.
change the name to the Landy DeQuattro Lodge? You know,
Hashtag let Mikey host.
You guys
me
can come
host.
on my podcast. We'll do. But just want to say, guys, this is an awesome podcast. I had a great time. I enjoyed listening to it on the way over here. Definitely going to be giving you guys a follow. Anyone who's listening, support your local scene.
Yes.
Support your local podcasts, your
Yes.
local bands, your
Yes.
local massage
Fuck local
therapy.
bands.
Your local band? No.
Yes.
Support your fucking local bands. Find the ones you like. Go out there. Support your local scene and get out there and do your own shit. You can find the Landi Lodge on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes. We out here.
Everywhere great podcasts are found.
Also, probably Google. You could probably Google
If you just
Landy
Google it,
Lodge.
some shit will come up. But I want
Some other shit will come up too.
That's true.
Oh no.
I listen to you guys on Spotify. I know you said you want
Yeah.
people to let you know where they're listening. I'm listening on Spotify. I listen to you guys. Also doing a Super Smash Brothers tournament January 12th.
Oh.
You're all cordially invited. Going to be
I
live
might have to
streaming
be there.
it.
Oh no.
Absolutely.
What day is that?
That's a Saturday.
Oh no, sorry, I won't be there.
All right.
Working.
But yeah, just wanted to plug that real quick.
Andrew, it looks like I'm gonna have to come over and practice some Smash Brothers.
Hey, you might have to.
Well, listen, man. There's pizza, there's food, there's drinks. Like it's really just a big hangout with a bunch of grown ass men playing a kids game.
That sounds like
You
fun.
know?
Hey, man.
I'm
Smash is
I'm
for
always
men.
down with that.
Yeah,
Is it
Smash
being-
is
is
for
it being
men.
live
I guess you
streamed
could
on-
really
Live streamed
Smash
on
Brothers
Twitch.
and-
Yeah.
Correct. You know
Smash
what?
with your brother.
Smash with
Mark
your
me
brothers.
down for yes.
Mark you down for yes.
What
you
day
got
is
it.
this?
Saturday
What like day?
January
night.
Night.
At
Like
the nighttime.
12th,
The number
12th,
date. Number date.
12th. 1,
Yeah.
2.
You said that.
Of January?
Yes. So not
No.
this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Next
No,
January.
I didn't hear the January part. Leave me alone.
That's how
He's
days
gonna
work.
show up in 2000. I'm here.
Brian, where can the good people find you?
They can
Yes.
find me over at Movie Man Podcast, at Movie Man Pod on Twitter, at Movie Man Podcast on Instagram, on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean, Movie Man Podcast. This week, I don't know what we're doing. I told Matt to talk to his friend who wanted us to review Dirty Dancing, because after a month of action movies, I need a little bit of a break. And I figure Dirty Dancing is the best way to get a break from action movies.
A little palate cleanser.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a
Thank you.
classic too.
It is. My mom
Yeah.
made me watch that movie when I was a kid, like every fucking day.
All right. Well, you can find me over at Twitter at ParksXCore. And I know I've been teasing something. It should be out by the time we do next week's episode.
Hey.
So stay tuned for that. We will have a Twitch, Twitter. Everything's coming. So we'll see you next week. I'll have more on that.
You have a band or anything?
Yeah, support your local band.
Yeah,
Support your
okay.
local scenes,
If you like
baby.
Attack cover bands, you can follow my band No Defeat.
All right, so you could find me on Twitter at dquats, on Instagram at mdquat. You could also catch me on this week's past episode of the Movie Mayhem podcast, as we touched upon early on the show, and also possibly in 2 weeks when my girlfriend and I are going to do Maximum Overdrive.
Season finale.
The season finale.
Ooh,
Also, Brian, I know that we were
Gotta
having...
end the season sooner or later.
Yeah. Brian, also, if you can't find a guest, we should do Annihilation like we were talking about in the group chat. I would love to review that with you and Matt.
Season opener.
That's it.
Just get that one out of the way.
Absolutely. So, as always, we will see you guys next week.
Oh, you could also find us at the Pick Last Pod on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, we should plug our show.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's going to probably be one or all three of us be interactive during the entire playoff weekend.
Yes.
If it's very quiet during the Cowboys game, you obviously know Mikey has the Twitter. If it's very loud, you know it's me because I have nothing to do because I'm at work.
I feel like at some point I'm going to see you and your dad like a reaction video on like Barstool. You guys like throwing something at your TV.
These Cowboys fans eat human flesh.
I forgot what game. There was a game, one of the games
Where
where
you ate human flesh?
No, where my dad and I just got so excited we like both stood up and fucking like clapped like high five each other so hard and played patty cakes. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You eat each other's flesh.
Yeah, eating each other's flesh.
Come here, Grandma.
What are you boys doing? Alrighty, we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Take care, all.